I don't know if you were from Dublin, maybe. Yes, okay. That's the biggest city in the world. Because it's doubling all the time. All right, you know what? You don't pay me much. Those are the jokes you get. Look, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, Malaysia, Ireland, and we've got a lot of people here in Southern California. Can we get a round of applause? Because all kidding aside, they really knocked themselves out tonight. This is a sold-out event. It is. Honestly, kidding aside, they spared no expense. They brought people in. This is a post-COVID era. So you're going to hear more jokes. But before we do that, we're already behind on the timeline. I know Ashish is looking at me like, I know you're funny, but we got to get, it's more important to keep the timeline than to tell jokes. I get it. I understand. So that's hard for a comedian. Haven't been up here in a while. Okay. He is an entrepreneur, an angel investor, a strategist, a board member of TiE SoCal Angels Fund, and the co-founder of Startup Steroid. I obviously need some of those. I take none of those. You can see I have no muscles at all. The platform that connects investors with startup founders. For him, we are truly, truly grateful. He is the current president of TiE SoCal. Please welcome to the stage, Anshuman Sinha.
Hello everyone, how is everyone doing today? How many investors in this room? With a raise of hand, yeah. Cool, how many startup founders? So you know who to meet. So what is TiE? TiE SoCal started in 1992 in the Bay Area. We have the pleasure of having the executive director of TiE Global here today with us. Here you go. So he drove today to come here and attend our event. Thank you so much, Vijay. Appreciate it. The Southern California is the first chapter of TiE SoCal, TiE Global, and we started in 1997. This year we are going to do our 21st TiECon on December 5th. TiE charter membership consists of business owners. Collectively, we do just in Southern California. And you know, we have charter members from Malaysia. I have a couple of them from Dallas because they love SoCal and they flew in here to attend our event. Collectively, we do $3.5 billion worth of business every year. We employ 20,000 plus employees globally. I also take this opportunity to announce the partnership between TiE SoCal and Government of India, Startup India initiative. Now, why this is important? There are 38 unicorns at the end of 2020 that came out of India. India has added 28 unicorns between January and September of 2021. There are total number of unicorns in India stands at 66 right now. So this is a great opportunity. Very soon you will see that on TiE SoCal Angels website, startups from India will be listed, and that gives the US investor an unprecedented opportunity to invest in some upcoming unicorns maybe, you know, because the latest data is that 70% of those 28 unicorns were founded in less than 5 years. So that is a very sweet spot for angel investors. We have TiE SoCal charter members. We do monthly events. Our pitching event is on the third Wednesday of the month. Other than that, we have a couple of SIGs, which are the special interest group. These are the list of the global SIGs. There are closed groups on LinkedIn. You can join them, and also you can get benefit out of meeting with those members of those things. TiE is also a fun group. Look at the pictures. Another one, we are big in golf. Today there are 42 startup investor groups in this room today. 42. The total headcount today is 210. Out of that, about 160 are investors. And the rest are startup founders, or both. Scott Fox from OC Startup Council is here. Hope Fund is being represented here. Kiritsu Kwani Harrell is here. Expert Dozo Brian McMahon, he is going to take this stage later in the day today. These are the logos of the investor group that are in the room today with us. I spoke about TiEcon Southwest. It is on December 5th. The registration is on. Please go to the website, tieconsouthwest.com, and get registered. It is on a Sunday, day-long event, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are going to have great fun over there. I also take this opportunity to thank two of my special friends. One is Anil Ramanini. He was the executive director with me since I took over office in January of 2020. He has some other interests right now. So he was with me till August end, and now Harry, Jerry is our executive director, and he is doing a phenomenal job. Dhaval Kapadia, TiE SoCal Angels, took a lot of help from him. He was our vice chair, and he helped us in putting all the monthly pitching events and talking to many startup founders. You may have already appeared on his interviews. So big round of applause for them. Such events are not possible without the platinum sponsors that we have. Look at them: Commercial Bank, Chug Firm, Navneet Chug is here, Stradling, Beyond Codes, Emirates, of course, Startup Asteroid, and Century 21. If you want to become a platinum sponsor, do let me know. I'll take care of you. Media partner. Today's event is going to be broadcast live on Diya TV, as well as our other channels. We have TV Asia today. In presence, they are doing the interview. It will be displayed in their show. And then India West, Indica News, and India Post, they are here too. With that, thank you. Back to you, Rajiv.
Thank you very much, Anshuman. Really appreciate the acknowledgement. It is great to be with you here for TiE. So I would like to bring to the stage right now, and by the way, we have some cell phones that have rung. I'm not going to call you out specifically. I did see you. You see, the laughs gave it away. So it wasn't you, but it's probably the people next to you. That's probably who it is. I was hosting an event about this large. I used to work at Procter & Gamble for years back in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. And I worked at P&G, Punjabis and Gujaratis. And I worked there for a few years, and I was in a meeting about this large. Our general manager was speaking on stage, and I forgot to turn my cell phone off, and my cell phone rang in the middle of his speech. It was a text message. Everybody was so angry with me, right? Because you're so embarrassed if that happens. It was such an important moment. And there's only one way to get out of that if that ever happens to you. Everybody was so upset. I looked down at my phone and I went, "It's a boy!" And then everybody applauded. So I tell you, that's your only way out, okay? That's your only way out. By the way, I could use that because 3 months ago, I became a father for the first time. So you can give me a round of applause. I will take it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. His name is Naveen, not Navneet. That's the next person coming to the stage. He's not ready to speak yet. Okay. I've already prefaced his introduction here. He is a successful entrepreneur, a philanthropist, a founder and champion of TiE SoCal. A lot of people in this room know who he is. He's also a previous president of TiE SoCal with offices in most major cities in the US and in India. He's got his eyes and ears everywhere. Please welcome to the stage, Navneet Chug.
Thank you, Rajiv. So Rajiv, good evening, everyone. So Rajiv, I have a question. You've said you've done shows in 7 continents, and the one in Antarctica, how many people were there in the room?
There were people, there was just no room.
Oh, oh, you mean the penguins? Okay, yeah.
Yes. I was brown, penguins are black and white, so it was a lot of diversity. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajiv. You are the best. 50 million views. That's awesome. I hope that you can put a little TiE logo along with these 50 million views. What a great pleasure to see all of you on a Thursday evening. TiE SoCal is 24 years old. We hopefully will have a wonderful 25-year celebration next year. And I only want to say one thing, and that is that I've met many TiE presidents around the world. There's 60 chapters. We were the second chapter in the world in 1997. And actually, we should take credit for being the first chapter because the parent was in TiE Silicon Valley. So they don't count as a chapter, right? So we're the first chapter. As a matter of fact, they asked us to write a memo on how to create a chapter, and we wrote a memo, and they sent it to other chapters. So the only thing we're not all that great at is is investments and startups. You know what do you call 3 friends you have in Silicon Valley? You know what you call them? A startup, right? So that's about the only thing we're a little behind in. Otherwise, we have the most diverse economy in the world. You name it, we have, from hospitality to retail to transportation, you name it. We also have silicon, just with an extra E. So the only thing I want to say today is I've met all kinds of presidents from around the world, but nobody better than Anshuman Sinha. Thank you. Absolutely the best. We're now nearing 150 charter members, which I think puts us in top 3 or 4 of the 60 chapters around the world. I feel sorry for you, Ashish, that you're going to step into his shoes. Big mistake. Don't know what you're going to do. Best is to make Anshuman president-elect so he hangs around. So this is the only void we have in Southern California, startups, and thanks to Dhaval and Anshuman and Ashish and the god of startups in Southern California now, the person that will speak next. He is a serial entrepreneur. He's very educated, very smart. I like people in life that are high output and low ego, and he's one of them. I've been fortunate enough to have investments with him. And even when we don't need the money, even if we don't need this person, I feel I want him to invest with me because he has this Midas touch. One company I was involved in many years ago, and it was dying. And we kept putting in money and losing money, and 10 years went by. We were restoring the sick person, and then I asked Shankar to get involved. And I don't know what happened, but the next day, it was a hockey stick. So those of you that want a hockey stick in your startups, please get him involved. He was president of TiE SoCal, volunteers like crazy, works like crazy, doesn't want any credit, and did 5 TiEcons for us and took on this big challenge of leading TiE SoCal startup. And he's doing a great job. We're working on our 3rd fund now. We've raised a lot of money. We've invested in a lot of companies. So hang on to this guy, and we thoroughly appreciate everything you're doing for us. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Shankar Ram.
I got it. Yes. Thank you, Navneet. On behalf of TiE, SoCal, and the Angels, I'd like to invite you or welcome you to this Investor Summit 2021. As Anshuman and Navneet stole the limelight, actually he told us about Anshuman Sinha. TiE SoCal Angels have grown unbelievably under Anshuman Sinha. Last July, we were 50 members, less than 50 members. Today, we have 146 members as of yesterday, maybe 148 today, I don't know. He keeps adding charter members. TiE SoCal has become one of the most active chapters. It's become a social club. It's become a talk of the town. It's unbelievable. As I said, every day he signs up a charter member. He's got so much energy, so much passion. He and his team, Ashish is helping him now, has done a fantastic job for all of us. Please join me in giving him a big hand. Thanks, Anshuman. So, as they said, TiE has been around from 1992, and TiE SoCal came in 97. Now, there is a dispute. Boston says they came before us. Boston is somewhere around mid-97, and we are in 97, it seems. But whatever it is, we have completed 24 years. We are in the 25th year. As I said, this year has been the greatest year, and Ashish is going to continue and take us to 200 members next year. Yeah. And they didn't mention, TiE has got over 60 chapters all around the globe. That's the largest nonprofit entrepreneurial organization, basically for entrepreneurs. And one of the pillars of TiE is funding. You have mentoring, you have incubation, you have training, education, but funding is also an important aspect of TiE. And angel investments happen through TiE, and chapters like Boston and Silicon Valley have done it for 10 plus years. I have the chair of TiE Silicon Valley here with us, Kumar Sriparam, and he has been doing this for over 10 years. But TiE Southern California started late. We started late 2018. And then it took us almost a year to get a footing. 2020, we established ourselves as a TiE SoCal Angels. We started our first fund in 2020. And that fund, we had about 45 members, because we had 50 charter members, 45 signed up with that. We raised about $1.1 million. And it was pretty good the past 18 months. We looked at companies, we looked at 600 companies. We asked about 60 companies to pitch, selected, deep dives in due diligence. We have a process. Eventually, we ended up investing about 13 companies actually from the fund one. We invested all over the world. We have 1 in Germany, 4 in India, and 8 in the US. So that fund is completely closed. Now we started our second fund, TiE Fund 2, which we have a commitment of close to $3 million and 90 plus members, double what we did last time because of our track record. And definitely, yes, that adds to charter members. All of them are charter members. So between that fund and the sidecar, we're going to have at least $5 million to deploy in the next 18 months. As we said, we have a process. We go through screening, pre-screening, deep dives in due diligence, and whatnot before we select a company. And we do this with our partners, who some of them are in the room today. This is a company portfolio. Here, for example, Helionics, we got through Kiretsu Forum. Unlu, we got through Expert Dojo. Veriskin, through TechCoast Angels. So we work with partners to get companies where we can invest in. So we're looking always for partners who can work with us because we have money to deploy and we want to do this. So this Investor Summit, what we're looking at is to introduce investors to entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs to investors. Because yes, we are here to stay. SoCal Angels has got $5 million to deploy in the next 18 months, but we cannot do it alone. We need help of all the investor groups and investors here around in this room. So we want to create an ecosystem in Southern California that is second to none. So that is possible only with your support, all the investor groups here. So we need your support. We need to identify entrepreneurs and companies that we can partner with, we can invest in, we can mentor, we can grow, and hopefully we can make money. And that's possible only with your participation. As I said, we have $5 million to deploy, and every group here has money to deploy. And I want to use our network to find companies so we can invest in. One of the things that's happened also here is we have what's called TiE Global Angels. That represents all the TiE chapters in actually outside India. Initially, we were working with North America. We have about 20 plus chapters. TiE Global Angels is using a platform to bring all these people together. In the past month, we have done deals with TiE Silicon Valley, TiE Boston, TiE Atlanta. So we identify companies, and if I find a company and I find it interesting, I pass it on to Silicon Valley and Boston. Then we do a joint investment. I think the past 30 days, we invested over $1 million between our chapters. The same thing, I want to now use it for our investor groups in Southern California. So I want Southern California to be the best ecosystem, investment ecosystem in the country. And that's possible with all these investors here. So this Investor Summit, I hope to make this a flagship event for TiE Southern California. We want to do this every year. We want to bring in more investors, more entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs meet the investors, investors meet the entrepreneurs. I want this to be the standard for Southern California, so we can all work together, we can get this and make the Southern California ecosystem, investment ecosystem, one of the best in the country. So again, thank you all for being here. I'm so glad that I'm able to see faces instead of Zoom. I'm able to meet people, see faces. It's so refreshing and really, really enjoy. I hope you enjoy. go around. We have exhibitors, we have pitch events, and then we're going to have a panel. Enjoy this event, and thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shankar, for that amazing introduction and top-line overview. Just a quick logistical note, please put your meal tickets on your plates. I feel like I'm at summer camp. Please put your meal tickets on your plates so the server knows what to serve you. So they are bluefish. I have a newborn, so I see that, I think, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Okay, that's one way to remember it. So blue for fish. Yellow for chicken. So for the Hindus, fellow Hindus who are eating meat, we can judge you if you're eating fish or chicken. And then if you want to show off and eat vegetarian, then you can put red. It's okay. I'm in there with the fish eaters. I'm guilty too, so don't worry. So blue for fish, yellow for chicken, red for vegetarian. We like our primary colors here. Okay. Just like the penguins, Navneet. Thank you for that. Okay. Now let me bring to the in front of you here. He is also a co-founder of Startup Steroid. He is also the incoming president. He does. Yeah. He's waving me off. You don't want to come to the stage, or you want me to tone it down? All right. He's the incoming president. Not a big deal. Okay. Oh, we're going to go right to okay, all right. He wants to come on later. He said we're going to do the pitches first. I think he said if the pitches are no good, he's not coming to the stage. I think that's what. I'm kidding. I like the groans. Come on, man. You know, post-COVID, we can't groan. We got to laugh. We got to have fun. We're going to be a little edgy. Come on, enjoy that. No, Ashish will come up in a little bit. I will cut my time short because we're running a little bit late here. But I echo what Anshuman is saying and Shankar is saying also about being able to see you in real life. And joking aside, it's great to be able to look people in the eye, because that's one thing we could not do over Zoom, over FaceTime. We get so much energy from shaking people's hands and looking them in the eye. You can't do that on a Zoom call, right? If you're looking at the camera, you can't look at them. You look at them, you can't look at the camera. There was never that soul-to-soul connection that we have tonight. So please, when you meet people, look them in the eye. That is a privilege that we have not had for so long. My wife and I were totally zoomed out after like 3-4 months, right? I mean, by round of applause, how many people are still Zooming? Probably a lot, right? Round of applause. Okay, we're still Zooming. Okay, there have been some good upgrades. We've moved into the future a little bit. I think we realized that we had a problem, though, when we were late for our first Zoom call, because reality came crashing down upon us. We used to say it was because of traffic. Right? I see some people nodding, right? You always could blame LA traffic for being late. Exactly, right there. You could blame LA traffic, and then we were 15 minutes late for a Zoom call, and we're like, you know what? We just have to admit that our lives are in a constant state of disarray. We have no control over our lives at all. We are sorry we're late, but here we are. The other thing that I noticed that I did on all of my Zoom calls, it didn't matter how good looking the person was on the other end of the call. I just looked at myself on the screen the whole time. Yeah, right? Some of us, I just looked at myself. I'm like, wow, that's what I look like all day long. And I was telling my friend that, Sanjay, I go, you know, why am I doing that? He goes, I don't know. Sometimes you just want to, you know, make sure your face is okay. I go, what an excuse for narcissism is that? I was sitting in in-person meetings for 3 hours. Nothing's going to happen to my face. It's okay. Don't worry. But this is how we are. This is just what we had to go through. Only the top half. That is true. I put something on Instagram where I showed my Zoom wardrobe, and it was like 10 jackets and then 10 boxer shorts. That's it, right? It was just nobody. That's very true. What he's saying is absolutely true. There were a lot of tops being sold, and there were no bottoms being sold at all. So people were just letting their pants go, Jeffrey Toobin included, all of them, you know. Too soon? Okay, all right. I think he was just excited about the meeting. I wish my employees were that excited. I'm going to make a pivot here. Pivot is a startup word for failed. So let me make... Startup jokes are the best jokes. Okay. Anybody watching Succession? Conference call jokes are the best jokes. Okay. Here we go. Let me bring to the stage right now so we can get the pitches started. So I think a lot of you know how the evening is going to go. We're eating dinner. We're paying attention. There are some 10-minute pitches, some 5-minute pitches, and then 2-minute pitches. So I'm going to have to be pretty ruthless about time. So if you see me starting to sidle up, I'm going to start taking some of those startup steroids so I can pump up, so I can scare some people here. But we're going to hold up these signs, 5 minutes, I think 2 minutes, and then 1 minute. And then, or 5, 3, 1. Thank you, Jerry. And stop. Don't forget stop. So stop means you really need to stop. We need to move on to the next pitch. So with that out of the way, I hope I pronounced Karaguzian right. Did I get that right? Where is Chris Karaguzian? Are you ready to go? Is he here? Because I don't want to introduce someone if he's not ready. You're right back. You're in the back. Okay. That's great. Sit in the back. The first presenter, sit all the way in the back. That's great. It's a good start. Are you ready? Okay. He was born ready, ladies and gentlemen. The name of his company is Help With My Loan. Let me introduce your first pitch of the night. Ready? Chris Karaguzian. We also have to get the slides ready, so you might see us do that, but okay, that doesn't count off your time. Go ahead.
Cool. Awesome.
Good luck.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Karaguzian. I am CEO and co-founder of Help With My Loan. Thank you for that introduction. You got my whole alphabet of our last name correct. So yeah, let me tell you guys a little bit about Help With My Loan, who we are, how we started. So Help With My Loan, what we've done in 3 short years, we've automated the entire lending process for full spectrum lending. What's full spectrum lending? Well, that's commercial, residential, business, and personal loans, right? Because in the lifetime of anybody, you're going to have different loan requests depending on what kind of investor you are, what kind of accomplishments you do, and what you're looking as far as your future planning. So what we did is we looked at the full spectrum of that, which is consumers, brokers, and banks. We helped that whole process become accessible right on our portal. And because of doing that, we have 300 plus vetted banks working with us in that database. We've closed over $150 million in lending for our customers using our portal. And we actually have a 95% proven funding rate that's better than and double than the competition out there. So as far as the team, again, I have my co-founder, Jack Artinian. He is the COO. We met in 2015 at US Bank. We were both at the top 5% in the industry, and we just saw all the frustrations and we bonded because of that, and we decided to launch Help With My Loan in 2017. And the great thing is we brought on a fantastic team to support our dream and vision. We have Diron Yanikian, our CTO. He has 20 plus years of industry full stack development for LA County, government projects, Logix Bank, Motive, Dignity Health. We have a great group of advisors also helping us accomplish our dreams and visions for the company. We have Garrett Gilbertson as part of the Band of Angels. He's an early lead investor also in Acorns and UNEST. We have Gurvinder Batra, part of our tech development team as well, working with Diron and our offshore company that has developed our software. And lastly, Charles Wheaton, 30 plus years of US SBA experience. So what do we solve? By show of hands, who has a great time getting a loan? Well, again, who has a great time getting a loan? Just in case it wasn't heard. Well, not a lot of hands. Oh, there's one hand. Well, that's exactly what we came out to do, Jack and I. We saw the frustrations out there of fragmented processes in the banks we worked at, abundance of paperwork, errors in underwriting, lack of staff, and again, cash flow errors. We want to validate this besides us being in the industry, so we also surveyed about 500 plus users and customers that we have. So the items that you see on the left of banks, consumers, and brokers that are our customers, those are actual complaints about the industry. And that is exactly what we set out to do, is let's solve all these options and problems that are happening in the industry and be at the forefront. Because what our competition is doing is creating leads. Leads aren't to solve of the problem. It's really the root of the problem are the items that I'm going to go into today, which is fragmented underwriting, paperwork, lack of time, and again, deals that just don't fit these banks. So the coronavirus really brought a paradigm shift that was already happening, and it moved it faster. How did it move it faster? A lot of banks right now and brokers are looking at automating the processes that you can't do in person anymore, or they couldn't do in person anymore. The technology and the lack of innovation was shown in these last 2 years. We saw the writings of the wall obviously working there, but the coronavirus really brought out the lack of innovation in banks and brokerages. So we created a platform that is, first of all, user-friendly. It's able to use the AI automation that banks need. It also has the ability for software enhancements, the fantastic customer tools these banks and brokers are looking for in that paradigm shift that's happening. So how does that all work, right? So we created a broker platform, a consumer and lender platform that basically has an AI software, our fantastic OCR feature. You can finance and put any type of loan request in it. How does that work? Is basically you put in any of your financials in there, our AI reads it within minutes, compared to what the industry standards is about 30 plus days of just looking at your deal to tell you possibly a yes or no. Not only a no, but 30 days to take that time. So lenders can automate that entire lending process. They can 10x their ROI. They can go ahead and decide what key players need to stay in their staff as well, because what we're doing is instead of 21 plus days of looking at a deal, within minutes, our optical character recognition AI go ahead and reads financials and tells you if this is a deal that fits your bank or not. So you're not spinning your wheels on deals that'll never fit your bank. You're not spinning your wheels as a broker, sending it to the wrong bank. You're spinning your wheels on the right deal at the right time at a 95% matching rate. So how have we made money in these last couple of years is we have 4 pricing models on our platform. We started with our traditional transactional model. We were collecting a 1.25% fee on every single transaction invoiced. We saw the responses, we saw the demand, so we rolled out a SaaS platform in August, and it's doing fantastic, 100% month over month ROI. So last year we grossed a little over 455,000. This year we're on pace to go north of about $750,000. I do want to note that we could have done $1 million this year. We wanted to focus on making sure our software was ready, and we went live after 60 months of development. So it went live this August. Just a quick note on that. So given our low marketing budget, we've done a fantastic job also on our customer acquisition. So our blended customer acquisition cost is about $228. That's across Facebook, Instagram, MailChimp, word of mouth marketing, which is huge in our industry. It accounts for 40%. And our customers are very happy and continue to come back with a K factor of 2.8. So I'm not going to say we're the first to market. Of course, we are the first to market in our software space, but we have indirect competition. So a couple of our sustainable competitive advantages is, first of all, our platform gives you uncapped requests, meaning at any given time, you can come to our platform and you'll find your loan. Certain banks, certain platforms put caps as you as a customer, no matter what your income, no matter what tier of credit you're part of. The other thing is also, we have access to 300 plus lenders. As another competitive advantage as we continue to grow our access to banks that want to partner and work with us. So our market's huge. Our transactional model really goes after consumers and businesses that account for over $10 trillion in lending a year. Our subscription model that we just launched as well has banks and brokers, realtors, and consultants. So with that, that gives us a $1 trillion, again, available market. Obtainable, what we feel confident in between 2025, 2027 is over an $875 million market as well. So a couple of things about our company. We've grown over the last 18 months, 25% month over month. We've launched our software. We have 300 plus lenders on our software platform. We are looking, again, working with Series A investors for next year to close our Series A while we're wrapping up our seed funding that I will be talking about a little bit as well. And again, the other thing I want to touch on is we are a company that's set up to build and exit towards the IPO. We're also understanding of what's happening in our market. We understand that there's a lot of acquisitions happening. Intuit just purchased Mint for $200 million. Amex just purchased Cabbage for $875 million. You have IBM that just purchased Armanta for nearly $500 million. And lastly, we have, again, in LendingTree purchasing SnapCap, as far as also Lending Penguin for nearly $50 million each. And we understand that opportunity as well, as we have an IPO opportunity, but also an exit opportunity of an acquisition. So our seed round is $1 million left of our $1.5 million. We've closed a little over 500,000 between banks that have invested in our platform as well as angel investors. We will be using the rest of the funds towards our sales, marketing strategy that is, again, bringing us anywhere between 10x to 30x return. Our tech team that we've offshored, we want to bring that in-house. And our terms, we're looking at a preferred stock option, post money of $6 million. I do want to leave a few of our happy customers up here. You can always review more of our reviews on Trustpilot. And again, we have a booth back there as well with myself and Steven. So I want to thank you for your time. Appreciate everything and looking forward to your questions and everything. Have a good night.
Thank you, Chris, for nailing that landing. Wow, he got it at 9.5 minutes. I think that was perfect. So thank you for kicking us off well. And I want to go with you over Lending Penguin, even though I perform for Penguins, according to Navneet. Go with Help With My Loan. They have real human beings. So go with Help With My Loan. There you have it. So hopefully you're enjoying the dinner and paying attention. Hopefully you got it. It's outside in for the forks. So hopefully you got it right. I saw some of you looking around, which way do we do the forks? So if you got it right, you're not going to get any money tonight because it means you're too corporate. If you went inside out, you clearly work at a startup, and that was a test. So nice work. Okay. Next up, we have Shunya Digital. Ready to go. And on deck, just so we're ready, I'll let you know the next company that's on deck so you can be ready to go. On deck is Falcon Nano. Mike Moore, you're going to be right after this one. So please welcome to the stage Shunya Digital, Rashi Bari Chitnis.
The space while you are talking, can you just so that we don't, Rashi is right here. Let's see if I can get you.
Almost ready, folks.
Wait.
First slide, the first slide.
Yeah. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. I know that dinner is tasty, but if you have kids, you want to listen to me today. So I am Rashi. I'm the founder and CEO of Shunya. Shunya is a game-based, fun platform for children under the age of 10 to learn multiple languages with cultural immersion. The click, does that count for my time here? The click is not working. I get 2 more minutes.
Oh, it's this.
It's okay. Okay, this one? Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perfect, I still have your attention. Yeah. So the problem that we're trying to solve is that most language learning platforms like Duolingo, Buzu, Rosetta Stone, Babbel, all of them serve really middle school children and above. They work really well for middle school children and above. But science shows us that the best age to learn a second language is before the age of 10. And if you learn languages at this age, you have a higher cognitive ability. There is a lot of science that goes on there. I am a bilingual myself. My kids are trilingual, and there are many people here who are bilingual. So you understand, you learn languages at a young age. That's why it's stuck with you. And in this age, for this age group, there is a lot of content for English, but not for other languages. And I know it because I got into it out of my own personal pain point. I have a background in media. I have a master's in filmmaking. I've worked in Hollywood for many years. Some of my clients have been Discovery, BET, Warner Brothers. I have a MFA in filmmaking. I've made 2 short films that have premiered at the Santa Barbara Film Festival. I find no content. But when I was trying to find content for my kids to learn my language, Hindi, I had to either let them watch dated content on YouTube, which did not work for them, or I had to bring content from India that also did not work for them. And when I spoke to other parents, I found every parent wanted a solution for language learning. But the language most of the parents want is based out of their own background. Everybody wants their children to learn their own language. And if you speak to the millennials, they care about the content that children are watching, and they want cultural diversity in the content that children engage with. And here are some metrics. The media, children's media is still not diverse. So that got us thinking about, can we build one single platform that can scale into innumerable languages very cost effectively? Because right now the market is fragmented. At one hand, you have passive learning content, but the market is shifting towards game-based learning market. And that is an $18 billion market opportunity. So what we have is a theme-based, game-based learning platform. We are currently in 5 languages: English, Spanish, Hindi, Telugu, and Marathi. We follow the World Language Readiness Standard. I had a movie that was going to play here, but because of some technical difficulties, you can watch it on our website. We follow the World Language Readiness Standard that defines the content that we are creating. It's theme-based. Any child that's learning languages has to learn numbers, colors, shapes, on the first 500 words, and that's what we focus on, which gives us a very scalable platform. We grew 93% last quarter. We are growing 164% this quarter, and I'll talk to you about why we are seeing this growth. Our price point is $5.99 monthly subscription or $57 annual, and we're bringing more annual subscribers currently. We've also market tested at $9.99. The acquisition pretty much stays the same. These are some of our metrics. Initially, in the beginning of the year, our CAC was $110. Today, our CAC is $42 on iOS, and on Android, which was launched last month, a cross-platform app, is close to $38. This growth we are seeing because we invested heavily in analytics. We are a very data-driven company. This is a screenshot of how we measure metrics. We know everything about where we spend the dollars and everything about our users. The top users that you're seeing are the users that we have acquired in US because we have a beachhead marketing strategy. But this user base is bringing us customers from India, UK, Singapore. This kind of scalability is not there for any product. You can't scale this fast without actually putting marketing money behind it. And that's because it's the same platform that works here for a child learning Hindi is actually working for children in India, allowing them to learn English. We have a beachhead marketing strategy. If you look at the market here in US, there are about 23 million families on a conservative level that have children under the age of 10. That market is divided like this, and our 2 million families in US is bringing us a customer base in India, which is exponentially has increased our TAM. We did not expect this so early in our product life cycle, but we are experiencing this. And we have a stellar team to execute on this. We are known for our operation. Myself, I've told you about my background. I also won the Spirit of Entrepreneurship in Science and Technology this year. With me is full-time Andrew Duncan. Andrew Duncan has seen an exit. He was one of the founding members of GoToMeeting, which was acquired by Citrix. He's been a UCSB professor, and he's written books on programming. He oversees all of our engineering. Then on product, I have Mary. Mary has been an educator in the New York School District. She's right here with us. You can talk to her about the product. She also has a UX degree. So she's either speaking to the customers or writing the curriculum. So she's a perfect fit for what we do. We've also brought in a lot of performance marketers, and that's the reason we're seeing this level of growth. Jen is on paid acquisition. Then we've surrounded ourselves with a lot of great advisors. Now, Ashutosh Chitnis is the co-founder. He's here with us today. Again, he and Andrew work very closely. Ashutosh does all of the back-end analytics, and Andrew does all of the forefront programming. Currently, we're raising 500K. We actually just opened this round to fuel marketing for our current investors. All of our current investors are back in this round. We are a Tech Coast Angels portfolio company. Tech Coast Angels Fund has invested in us, and we opened this to fuel marketing. We've also partnered with Amazon, AWS, EdStar, and Promise Ventures. 50% of this round is going to go into marketing to get us to 1 million ARR by next year. The future trend for EdTech is going to be very, very global, and that's because of the pandemic. There has been a lot of investment that went into hardware. Every parent invested in either an iPad or an iPhone, or schools invested in the hardware. The next trend is going to be content creators, the creators that are going to supply content for those hard devices, and we are that content creator. You can also see EdTech has had many IPOs this year. And particularly, I've brought in Baiju here. For people who are from India actually know Baiju, but it's a company that was started in India, and now they're rebranding themselves as the Future School and acquiring app companies from here. The reason it's happening is because that's the global trend going forward. And we have a stellar team to execute. The product is ready, the marketing funnels are ready, the content is ready. Our value proposition is that there is nobody out there that has a scalable model like us. We can scale in features, we can scale in languages, and we can scale in geographies very cost effectively. We own all of our data, we own all of our IP. That is itself invaluable. Duolingo, that has gone IPO, in the beginning did not even have this business model. They did not even have a business model. They just focused on analytics, and we do that. I'm sorry, I just saw that I have 1 minute left. So with that, you can find me here. I'm happy to answer questions, but thank you for having me here. Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rashi, for dealing with the technical difficulties. We now have improved. We're all standing on the side, and then Ashish can work on the tech side. So thank you for rolling with us there. Another round of applause for Rashi for rolling with it, because that was not an easy thing to do. On deck is Top Shelf. So if you're with the Top Shelf company, that is the one after this one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
right now
and so right now, one more announcement I wanted to make is we have somebody here from the Canadian consulate. So if Patrick can stand up, that would be great. Patrick, yes, Patrick is here. Big, come on, bring the house down for Patrick. There he is. He is here all the way from the Canadian consulate. TiE SoCal is working with them to explore ways of investing in Canadian startups and also discussing mentorship programs for the founders. So welcome, Patrick, into the fold here. Canada, I was going to say Canada because I went to U.S. public school. But yes, Canada. My wife was born in Toronto, so I'm going to get in trouble for that one. So there you go. Welcome to Patrick. And without further ado, I want to invite to the stage Falco Nano. That is Al Hastings. Take it away, Al.
Take it away. Oh, I'm just putting your Falcon Nano startup.
Oh, maybe not.
Am I cramping your style here?
Yeah. What is that? It says it is.
We can't take it away just yet. Hang on a second. We're going to bring up his slides in just a moment.
Oops. What is coming? Oops, sorry. There.
Okay, we got the slides up. I see a falcon. Al, I would have thought a bald eagle. With our look, I would have thought a bald eagle would have been perfect, but you went with the falcon. So
There you go.
there we have it. Okay,
Okay.
got the clicker. We are off to the races. Take it away, Al.
Your time starts now.
All right, thank you. I'd like to thank TiE SoCal for putting on this great event. And Mike Moore, if you could stand up, please. Okay. I'm introducing Mike Moore to you all because he's our alpha investor in Falcon Nano, and also because it's Veterans Day. He just retired recently from the United States Navy, 35 years of service. Thank you, Mike, and all the veterans. Also, I have to say that Mike has brought 4 U.S. Navy captains to invest in our venture. He's also brought 1 Marine captain to invest in our venture, who's a Marine pilot, F-18s, and also 1 retired U.S. Air Force colonel. We do have civilians that have also invested, so don't get too worried. Also, while I'm thanking people, Alan Stone, could you stand up, please? Alan has given us some good advice, and any entrepreneurs in the room, I'd recommend you swing by Alan's booth and talk to him. One of Alan's advice was that we attend this event because I wasn't planning on it, and now I'm glad that Alan strongly recommended that we attend. So, thank you. So, Falcon Nano is a startup company. We've developed a technology to enable wireless data transmission to be 8 times faster. Ultimately, our technology will go into smartphones. We'll manufacture chips, and they'll go into the smartphones and into the cell phone towers. So, one of the big investment advices that have been made for a long time is invest in land because they're not making any more of it. Another thing that more of is not being made is wireless spectrum. And there is a limitation on the amount of data that can be transmitted wirelessly. There's only so much usable data in the wireless spectrum, and that is one of the reasons why the cell phone service providers, as well as the satellite communications companies, have spent in the last 5 years, they've spent well over $100 billion licensing more wireless spectrum. Because of that, our pitch to get the major players involved and interested in Falcon Nano is you've spent billions of dollars licensing wireless spectrum. Falcon Nano can make that spectrum 8 times more valuable for you. Applications range from cell phone communication, smartphone communication, to satellite communication, to Internet of Things, drones, the military applications you can probably imagine. Where we're at right now is we have a proof of concept benchtop engineering prototype. We have taken that prototype to Underwriters Laboratory, also known as UL, and had them validate our performance claims. So we're no longer some guys from Las Vegas with wild accusations on what our technology can do. We actually have a written report from Underwriters Laboratory, the most well-respected private test laboratory in the world, validating our performance claims. We're in the process of getting FCC certification of our technology. We have presented our technology to the FCC, and they have granted us multiple experimental radio service licenses, so they're very well aware of what we're doing. So if you have any questions, come on back to our booth. We'd love to talk to you. We're currently looking for additional executive horsepower. So if you know someone skilled in business development, M&A, finance, it'd be great to get an introduction. Thank you.
Al, you are our favorite person in the room. He gave us 5 minutes back. How about that? Wow, a 10-minute pitch done in 5 minutes. That was incredibly well done. Thank you so much for that. You've earned your name of Falcon. You were very fast, so thank you. That was really great. You're selling a fast company with the Wi-Fi, so that was I got it. That was good.
Got some time to crack jokes.
I got some time to crack jokes. You know what? I think we should keep it moving just in the interest of time, because whoever gives us 5 minutes, somebody will take it back, but that is not permission for someone to take 5 minutes, okay? Just so you know. So good to know. On deck is going to be Startup Steroid, but the next one coming to the stage, I like to give Ashish a little bit of a jump, you know, just to scare him a little bit. It's going to be the Top Shelf Equity Partners. That's Satish Poliseti. So if you want to come up, I think we got the slides ready to go this time. So there's no need for further ado. Let's please welcome to the stage Satish with Top Shelf Equity Partners.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, TiE, for giving this opportunity to share my story here. And I don't know if there is any reward for giving time back. I'll try to finish in like under 10 minutes. So this is Satish Poliseti. I'm the founder and managing partner at Top Shelf Equity Partners. I did my undergrad in computer science engineering, and since then I worked in technology companies for like 18 years. My main job was like, finding the right product to build a solution which will answer a lot of business problems. Wherever I worked, my job was to find the right product, right technology product. So as part of that, my subconscious mind acquired unique skill of analyzing the product, the company, the technology, the roadmap ahead of the company, and then put the pieces together and give a wonderful solution to the business. So, and then I met a friend who was building a automation software. And then I did angel investment in his company, and I raised a little bit of money, and then that was my first angel investment. And then he built a product in 6 years and then sold it to Notion Labs for good money. So since then I started analyzing and see, how can I become part of the growing technology companies? How can I monetize my investments in these companies? Okay, so in 2020, I started investing in late stage companies, my own money, experimenting. And then it was pretty good. And then quickly, okay, so these are the companies that I invested in 2020. The Automate IO was my first angel investment, Palantir, Confluent, Robinhood, SoFi. And then we invested in these companies before they went public. And after we invested in the late stage, they went public and they gave good returns. With that inspiration, we started investing in these primary rounds of People AI, More Engage, Sendbird, and there's a company called Misho. So my team at Top Shelf, along with me, we pick a company that we understand, and we see the founders, the team, and the revenues and all those things, and then pick a company and we invest our own money first. And then I started extending the investment opportunity to my friends and family, and quickly it became like a $20 million fund in 15 months, close to. And these are the active investment opportunities, we have. So we put like $7 million in Automation Anywhere, and then, in Rubric. And here you can see some seed stage companies as well, Vahan and Magic. And late stage companies like ThoughtSpot and Kraken is there too. And because I'm from India, I know how the technology is being transformed in India. So there are so many companies, like, about close to 30 companies have become unicorns in the last 2 years. And the growth is extremely good. So we started picking up some companies in India too. So here I have seen a couple of pictures before, like, what do we offer as Top Shelf Equity Partners? We provide liquidity opportunities to the employees. We participate in primary round. If a company is raising money, and if we like the company, we try to participate in the primary round. And as an investor, if you want to get into, get a piece of the company before it goes public, then we provide an investment opportunity through our SPVs. And, Navneet mentioned about Shankar Ram Midas Touch. And then, I was fortunate to meet him. And then he mentioned, okay, at TiE, you may see a lot of investors, founders, and this could be the right platform to, showcase the Top Shelf. And that's why we are here. We have a booth at the back, and you can see me. I'm sorry, I didn't put my team photos here. So we have, if I can ask KK and Sridhar to stand up. So if you have any questions, you can see us at the back. Thank you so much.
Yes, that was really well done. Thank you, Satish. Really appreciate the speed with which you went through that. But yes, there are no points. I'm not trying to rush people along. I would just say that it was pretty cool that he got through that so fast. Thank you very much, Satish. Really appreciate that presentation. One thing that we do want to let you know, if you have friends who are part of TiE and cannot be here tonight, we had let them know in advance, but just to remind them, if you want to text them, it is being live streamed. The event is being live streamed on TiEinvestorSummit.com. So that is something you can definitely do. COVID was a very rough time for entertainers, for performers. It was really difficult. There were no events going on at all. It was a challenge to perform on Zoom shows, like I told you about with the eye contact thing, was very, very difficult to do. Also, we got to apply for aid from, the US government. And then when I looked it up on the website, it told me that entertainment is classified as a non-essential business. Yeah, I thought, wow, what great way to pump up our self-esteem as entertainers than to tell us that we're categorized as a non-essential business. Nevertheless, we persisted and carried on. It was always tough. We usually had multiple screens going on side, like we had a coexisting video, which we can abbreviate to COVID. Probably not a good idea. And sometimes there was, here you can hear me in real time, but if you're watching us on the TiEinvestorSummit.com website, there might be a 5-second lag. And that was a little bit tough on Zoom too, because you would tell a joke and you'd have to wait for people to get it. But I had performed all over the South, so I was used to it. It wasn't a problem. Where's Dallas? Where's Dallas on that one? Come on. I thought I'd get, there he is. Okay, there we go. There's Dallas, Texas in the house. Hopefully you're enjoying, we have wine. I think the wine is complimentary, so get sloshed, go for it. When I drink, some of my friends try to remind me to eat. That's an important thing. They're like, put some food on your stomach, make sure you eat. I'm like, no, I'm trying to get to a destination here. I'm trying to get drunk. We're making good time. You want to take an exit. Why do I want to eat? Come on, we're going. Let's keep it going. I feel like my dad on family trips. It felt like that sometimes. I do want to let you know that probably the hardest thing for an Indian person during the pandemic was the body hair. Let's be honest, okay? I'll keep it clean, but I think that's part of the reason we had to wear these clothes and these tops was to cover, our hair. I could not go to European Wax Center. I don't know why they call it European Wax Center, by the way. I think Indians keep it in business, right? It should just be called Indian Wax Center and get it over with. I think that's what ended up happening is my two eyebrows became one again. I felt like peaches and herb reunited, and it feels so good, right? It was right here. Because for most of my life, I was tweezing and plucking. Ladies, you feel me on this. Come on, I'm right there with you on this, right? We're always trying to keep these apart. It's hard, I know, it's difficult, but I have to do the same thing. I feel like Moses, like keeping the Red Sea apart, like just trying to keep it like this, and here we go. It came all back on me again. So we have one more 10-minute pitch, and then we're going to go to the 5 minutes and then the 2-minute pitches. So it's going to get faster and faster as we go. This is our last 10-minute pitch of the evening. So we want to make sure that you give him your undivided attention for good reason, because he is the president after all, right? So this is good. It is that's going to bring him to the stage. Not the US president, because he's actually awake. But oh, no politics, sorry. No politics, sorry, my bad on that. Okay, there we have it. Yeah, okay, all right, fine. Good stuff. No, I'm not. I don't do political jokes in this, and I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I know that a lot of us are Democrats, but my dad is a big Republican. This becomes a big issue when I make fun of Republicans. He gets really upset. So he's like, don't do that. But I think a lot of Indians become Republicans because of the elephant. It's just our conditioning. We see that, we're like, okay, Ganeshi, okay, all right, okay, that's fine. All right, with that out of the way, folks, I'm going to bring up the CEO of Startup Steroid. It's not going to be Anshuman, it's going to be Ashish. Okay, so he's the incoming president after all, so have at it, Ashish Sabu.
All right, have fun. Oh, can I have the mic? So I'm not really sure how to follow up with that. I mean, it's a tough act, but as he was talking about body hair, a lot of people today were asking me about my pony. So I just got rid of the pony which I was growing for last 18 months, and I used to call it the pandemic pony. Look around, do you feel there is a pandemic anymore? That's why the pony is gone just 2 days ago. With that, thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying the evening and you had good dinner. Some of you are still working on it. Keep consuming the wine and keep funding the startups. With that, I want to talk about Startup Steroid, which is kind of a product of the pandemic. Some of us at TiE, Anshuman and I, got together during the pandemic when we started looking at how we were investing in our startups at TiE. And it was really a big mess in terms of trying to put together a deal flow. Anybody familiar with this? You have Dropboxes, Gmail, whatnot. You are trying to get these startups to upload page, send a Google Drive link, send a Dropbox, then try to figure out where all the information is. It was really very, very difficult, and I think a lot of people are still using those kinds of means. And when it started getting to 40, 50 startups per month, it becomes impossible for you to really evaluate them, give them your due attention, and try to really do your due diligence before you can invest in it. And from startups' perspective, a lot of startups were putting a lot of time just uploading their application instead of either building it or actually working with the investor. So we thought of a platform, a SaaS platform basically, where the startups can upload their pitches and then the investors can manage their deal flow. So out of that came Startup Steroid. So Startup Steroid, in a nutshell, is a SaaS platform for deal flow management. where startups can put together a comprehensive startup profile. Investor groups can get a curated deal flow based on some parameters they set up. Startups can also get some ecosystem help from other areas where they need, like legal, financial, and things like that. And ultimately, it becomes a streamlined investment process for everybody. So what do startups get when they go to the platform? They are able to, in 15 to 20 minutes, upload their pitch deck, upload all their information, answer a bunch of questions which typical investors ask. It really prepares them for the grueling which they have to go through when they take a Zoom session with investors or go and pitch the way some of us have pitched here today. So it really is very easy for them to just prepare their profile once and then be noticed by the investors groups across the world. And also, if they want to share their profile, they don't have to upload a pitch deck anywhere else again. They can just quickly share a link to our platform and their live profile is shared with the other investor groups. Other thing which we bring to the table is the emotional aspect of the founder's journey. We also provide an interview and a video recording service for them, so where we are able to talk to them, get to know their journey, get to know what they are really bringing to the table, and then on the platform, that interview and that video pitch is also there. So the investors can really look at it whenever they want to, it's up there, obviously, and then make that decision. So that emotional aspect is also being handled by Startup Steroid. On the investor side, basically the investors are able to now just log in and quickly go through their own filters, say, I want to look at only seed stage or Series A, I want to only look at AI, ML kind of companies. So go through their filters, look at the company profile very quickly, look at their videos, pitch decks, everything right there in one place. And if they have a matrix system for rating the startups, they can rate that. So within a group, you can have different committees for screening, pitching, and things like that. You can rate them, go through your funnel, and also you can create your own custom funnel. Some investor groups like us, we have a pre-screening, screening, pitching, and so on. So you can do all those things. Another thing which can be done is also you can share across the platform. So you can actually syndicate the deal and multiple groups can work together on that same startup. If you find that startup interesting, like what we are doing in TiE with TiE Silicon Valley and TiE Boston and so on. So that facility is also available. So the whole idea is to really make the whole deal flow system as easy as usable for you, easy to use, always on, and fully customizable. One last thing is about the white label. So this platform is fully white label, so you are not just another person on a Gust or a Carta. This gives you your look and feel. You are able to customize the platform. You are able to create your own white label instance with your logo, with your unique link. So when you ask startups to upload their pitch deck, you are not asking them, hey, go to Gust and upload it. You are saying, go to myurl.ssdspv.com, and that gives you a more personalized feature. I can talk at length because I created this with a few fellow charter members. Quickly, I wanted to talk about my co-founder, who is Anshuman, and we have a couple of advisors. So this is a product of TiE after all. Shankar Ram graciously has been helping us. Also, Ajay Prasad, I think he is not here today. So without further ado, I would like to ask Shankar to quickly talk a couple of minutes about how they are using our platform on TiE. This is the next slide.
Yeah. So this platform, Startup Steroid, we call it SSD in TiE Global, was developed by users. We saw the pain point. I've used Gust, I've used Procedure, I've used other spreadsheets. I've used a variety of software for my deals, for my investments. So with the user experience and the pain, we decided, hey, let's do something for our fund. So we created the software called Startup Steroid with Anshuman and Ashish. And now TiE Global, which has got about 20 plus chapters across America, has decided to use this product for the next 2 years. What we have done is we have white labeled this to TiE Global. So currently about 6 chapters are white labeled. Silicon Valley, Atlanta, Boston, Toronto, and other places. So they are white labeled, which means their investors. Silicon Valley has a couple hundred investors. We have about 120 investors. We are white label. They go into the white label and ask companies to come and pitch into them. They could have 30 or 40 companies every month. They screen them. And then when they are ready to go to the next step, which is due diligence, then they open it up to the public, which is TiE Global. So if Silicon Valley is working on a deal, we can go look at it. Silicon Valley does the complete screening, pre-screening, due diligence. But then as a TiE Global investor from Southern California, I have access to it. So this way, as I mentioned earlier, the past month, we have closed at least $1 million investment. Because a company, I've done due diligence, I've decided to invest, now it's being shared with Silicon Valley, shared with Boston. So everybody can participate either through their fund or SPV, whatever the process may be. So Startup Serata has brought these groups together, and the next month, December 1st, we're going to open up to 24 chapters. So it's a white label version, nobody else is offering, plus now you can share deals across your chapters, your divisions, whatever companies you want. That is a specialty of SST. So it is developed by the user, we're using it, and it's one of the most productive systems, I think much better than Proceed or Gust. And eventually we'll also be doing SPVs and basically LLCs through this platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Shankar. And I just wanted to mention, not for us, but for all the startups, a lot of us have a table and booths back there. So if you have any questions or if you want to set up a demo or anything, please go and visit them back there. They will be excited to talk about it. With this format, we don't really have time for Q&A, but please approach them. They want your blessing, they want your money, and hopefully they can grow with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Ashish and to Anshuman and to Shankar. Really appreciate the presentation. There are booths in the back, but just a quick reminder, people did pay a good amount to pitch, so please sit down, and I know most of us are, I get that, but I know we want to network and stuff like that, but give them your full attention, please. Really appreciate that. But, make sure you do meet people too. Thank you, Ashish, for the presentation, and we miss your pony, but we have 28 new unicorns this year, so we don't need any ponies if we have 28 new unicorns, so that's good. That's a good thing. We have a whole horse thing going on here. So, okay, next up we have the Internet of Everything Corporation, and I believe it is Matthias, is that right? Okay, so let's make sure we have Matthias' slides ready to go.
There is no slide, yeah.
I'm sorry? I don't do slides. No slides, all right. No electric slide. I went to an Amish wedding. They all did the acoustic slide. Get it? All right, okay.
So this one works, right?
So from now on, please. Next.
Oh, I can't get it. Hello. All right, that works. So yeah, I'm Matthias Bergström. I born, raised Stockholm, Sweden. Pretty far from here. Pretty cold, pretty dark. Summers are great. My background is in telecom, R&D, worked on the thing we call the internet from beginning, specifically the Border Gateway Protocol, which is the protocol that links together ASN networks. We don't have to go into that, basically. So the Internet of Everything Corporation is looking at IoT, smart cities, smart hospitals from an aspect that is not about the app. So we've been asked by a lot of people over the years to look at how do we create a smart city? What does it mean? What does a smart hospital mean in reality? And a lot of people think that it's about the app, where I book my time for the hospital or I see how the traffic is in the city. To us, a smart city is a system that can predict where there's going to be a pothole so we can fix that before it happens, right? We remove the cost of fixing a pothole because we know where it's going to happen, so we can fix that before. We know when a pump is going to break down in the water system, so we don't have water. We are predicting these things by censoring and, of course, using a refinement engine to create the context out of this data. So the idea of Internet of Everything is to say, okay, we are not, there is always going to be an aspect of communicating with people, But infrastructure doesn't need to communicate with people. It needs to work always. That is what it's there for. Stability is what we need. So looking at this, looking at the opportunities of cost saving, stability, life enhancements, that's a really bad way to put it. But, you know, I'm standing here right now, so it's my choice. Is possible with these new technologies, but we need to figure out how to do that. So the Internet of Everything is a platform to deploy and refine data into information and context. I'm not the guy who should be standing here, so he had to leave, so I'm doing this like on the sidelines. I'm tech, I don't really do these things, but I don't know what part of investments and all of that. If you ask me, I'll put you in contact with the right guy to talk about that. I can talk about the product forever. And that's pretty much all I have to say. The rest is in this document that's on the table. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you can just set it there. Perfect. Thank you very much, Matthias Bergstrom. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much for that presentation. That was great. So, folks, now we go into the 2-minute pitches, and actually, this pitch is mine. So I wanted to pitch you something here tonight with permission. Don't worry, I did not sneak my slides into here last minute. This is part of the pitch tonight. I have a talk show, and the talk show is called "What Do You Bring to the Table?" One thing I know really well is Indian comedians, okay? Russell Peters performed at our wedding. That is a true story. And, you know, I used to tell people that, and then finally somebody was like, oh, you paid him? I'm like, no, he's a friend of mine. So I realized for years people thought I had hired him. It's like, no, we're friends. I need to go back and tell all the people that, you know, that he is our friend. Hassan Minhaj was my roommate for 2 years in Studio City, California. And yeah, Hassan is doing great. He's a really good friend of mine. He's awesome, representing the community, I think, really well. And, you know, it was never surprising to me that when I would go to a Russell Peters show or I would open for him, that 80% of the audience was Indian, right? South Asian, Desi, whatever you want to call us, okay, brown. But what was shocking to me is when you watch Hassan, and he's got so much mainstream success, a lot of his audience is still Desi. They're still Indian. They're still South Asian. And a lot of my friends will tell me that they're teenagers, and probably a lot of you in this room might have teenagers, and you know that your kids are there scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram, and they're looking for brown content. What is the moral of the story? That Desis support each other. There's a stereotype that we don't, but I think that we do, and I think that that's changing, and that's good. Look, South Asians in this country are killing it. We're doing great in Canada, in North America in general, in the United States, and now we have critical mass. But the infrastructure, Matthias, you talked about infrastructure. The infrastructure is lagging, and it's infrastructure week here in the United States. I wanted to tell you that, look, Latinos, they started the Latin Grammys 20 years ago. Black folks started BET 40 years ago. Jewish people started Hollywood 90 years ago. I'm kidding, look. The Jewish people started something, it's true. These communities support each other. They are very, very good. These other communities are great at supporting each other. And what we do not need is another South Asian network, because we have South Asians, we have Indians all over NBC, all over Netflix. We're already doing it, whether it is actors, entrepreneurs, creators, a lot of the people in this room. But what's also really important is that we capture this moment for our children, right? We're going to be able to tell them we already can do this, where we can go, wow, do you remember in 2000, 2005, even now, when people, you see Sanjay Gupta on CNN, you see Aziz Ansari and Mindy Kaling on Amazon and Netflix and all these things that they're doing. And so somebody was like, why don't you make a documentary? I said, no, a documentary is too static. A talk show is dynamic. It is something that is living and breathing, and it's something that will carry on beyond us. I have only 2 slides, okay? This is a list of people that I've interviewed in my 15-year career and or who are 100% confirmed to do the talk show. I'm very proud of this list, and this is what I've been able to do on my own, okay? Interview people, build a studio in my backyard, which you just saw here. This is in my backyard in Burbank. I ran a Kickstarter. We 2x'd it. We raised $56,000 in a month, and I've spent $100,000 of my own money. And I'm a comedian, and you've heard my jokes. You know it's taken me a long time to make $100,000. But to take this to the next level, we need a team. We need sponsors. We need distribution. We need investors who are willing to come on as executive producers and put their name next to some of these folks. And that's where you come in. How do you get your money back in entertainment? It's hard. I know as soon as I got up here, started talking about a talk show, I'm like, oh gosh, how are we going to get our money back? A couple ways. Advertisements and an exit where we sell this to a Netflix, to an Amazon, to an HBO Max. It is our time to do that. We can do it. You can help us construct our flagship product, which is a talk show and an accompanying podcast. They are all the rage. Social media handles with curated content. The goal is Insight, folks, a weekly platform where we can profile our people, where our creators in the arts, tech, and commerce can promote their projects. Imagine if you have something like this to tell the world about what you're doing. This is not about me building my dream. It's about all of us coming together to continue to build ours. Thank you. Thanks, folks. You can follow me at Funny Indian on Instagram or LinkedIn. Come see me after the show. I'm waiting to drink until afterwards, so I'm making that sacrifice for you. So there we go, folks. Thank you for listening to my pitch. I really appreciate that, and I'm very proud of what we built and what we continue to build. And my relationship with TiE professionally continues. With that out of the way, I hope I get this right. We have Cheezos. Okay, I was thinking Cheetos. I was getting hungry. I ate them yesterday for the first time in 10 years. William Stringer is coming to the stage to present Cheezos. Okay. Do we got is there a timer or anything? There is just 2 minutes. Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for having us. My name is Stephen Grinalds. I'm one of the co-founders and CTO of Cheezos Capital. And I'm here to tell you guys about a really exciting new asset class that I think you guys may be interested in. This is an asset class that you guys all know well. The asset class is that of us humans, creators, people, entrepreneurs. So we built a fintech platform and are raising funds, investment vehicles that go into early stage, high opportunity entrepreneurs, creators, athletes. And I'm here to share with you guys a little bit about why that's interesting. And if you guys are interested in participating and being an investor in our fund that goes into these people, happy to talk to you guys afterwards. So we've been around for 2 years now. We've made 17 investments into early stage, high performant, early stage entrepreneurs and creators that are building really innovative companies and projects. And so this is essentially a fintech platform that takes capital vehicles and provides it to entrepreneurs and these creators at the very earliest stages of their ideation, capital formation, and bringing these products to market. We also have this really unique investment structure that we call a convertible income share agreement. I'm not going to describe it to you guys because we only have 2 minutes right now, but if you'd like to talk to me about it afterwards, it provides downside protection for investors, uncapped upside through a safe in the business, and it's a comprehensive single investment that works really well for both investors and these high-performing individuals. It's not equity crowdfunding, by the way. This is investing in people as an asset class. As I mentioned, we're raising Fund 2. We have a little bit more room in our seed fund that's available. And so if anyone would like to talk later about joining either one of those investments, I'm happy to take any questions. And yeah, really appreciate the time.
Nice job, William. That was 2 minutes. That's great. I feel like I'm in bed with my wife. 2 minutes. That's all we get. Okay. I told you I haven't had a drink yet. Okay, that was just real. All right. On deck, we have Barking Cow. Okay, that's who's going to be on deck. But up now, we have I Vitamins. Have at it, Kaushal Karkani.
Did you know that the average person spends 8 to 10 hours a day on a digital screen? And by the end of today, 100,000 people in this country will have visited an eye care provider for dry eye. My name is Kaushal Kulkarni. I'm a board certified ophthalmologist. People call me Dr. K, but luckily this is a TiE event, so all of you guys can actually pronounce my name. And I spent the last 15 years treating tens of thousands of people with dry eye. When I was practicing in a place called Sharp in San Diego, I noticed a problem. My patients hated me because the solution I was giving them didn't work. I was giving them teardrops just like every other doctor. And they kept saying to me, can't you find a solution that actually fixes it from the inside out instead of putting a Band-Aid on it? I couldn't find a solution, so I made my own. That's why I created Vitamins. We have an all-natural, science-based, proprietary supplement that fixes dry eye from the inside out and gets to the root of the problem rather than putting a Band-Aid on it. And for that reason, we've done $1 million in cumulative revenue since launching last year, with 50% year-on-year growth, and we're going to be profitable by the end of this year. We're raising a seed round to get this into the hands of as many people as possible and capture as much of the $8 billion dry eye market that we can. On behalf of the world-class team of physicians, scientists, and marketing experts that we put together, I want to thank Anshuman and Ashish for having us here. And if you have consumer packaged goods, e-commerce, or health and wellness experience, we'd love to have you on board. Because at Vitamins, we believe that if everyone were to make natural science-based eye care a part of their daily routine, the world would be quite literally a brighter place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kaushal. On deck, we have Lumaseek. And up now, we have the Barking Cow Media Group. I love this name, Barking Cow. I want to hear what this is all about. We have Sridhar Srikakula.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the few-minute pitch. One thing that we've all got in common in this room is that we all travel. And when we travel, we all know that when you pull out your smartphone anywhere in the world, you get inundated with probably a dozen platforms that want to give you content. Whether it's Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, wherever you land, ZTV, wherever you're landing, you get content on your phone. There is one place left in the world that does not have licensed content, and those are the crews that work on freight, the crews that work on freight vessels. These guys spend 30, 60 days in the middle of the sea, but no content. That's exactly where you need the content. But so far, the solution has escaped them because the hardware solution has been too expensive. Well, we've overcome that. So we have a proprietary hardware and 50,000 hours of content from studios that we've put together that addresses this situation in a cost-effective manner. So, excuse me, I'm a little flustered. It's been a journey of about 30 years of experience, but about 2 years ago, the light bulb went on saying this is the one place in the world that content is still needing to be licensed professionally. So imagine being a crew member, you're pirating content by going to the lounge and you get to watch the program all 30 of your other crew mates watch. But now you have the opportunity to watch 1,000 different programs on your smartphone and start and stop like you do Netflix at home, all for a really cost-effective price. So it's a globally scalable model, it's disruptive, and it's being delivered. The current cost for something like an ocean liner or an airplane is about $500,000 to $700,000 per vessel. We've got that cost down to $5,000 per vessel. So I'd love to share more details with you. So when you get a chance, just visit me in the back and I can give you more details on this exciting opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sridhar. He flew in all the way from Malaysia for that. Yes. If you think his cows are barking, you should see his dogs. Honestly, it's crazy. On deck, we have Strategic Minerals, and up now we have a company called Lumiseek. Have at it, Himabindu Gadapati.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are we doing? Yeah, it's really my pleasure to be here this evening amongst you all. So my name is Himabindu Gadapati. Again, you got it right. And I just want to introduce myself briefly. I'm an oncologist, I'm a geneticist, and I'm an entrepreneur. And, I've been an entrepreneur for the better part of a decade. And this evening, even though Lumiseek, he mentioned Lumiseek, it's one of my companies, but it's really, I really wanted to introduce a new fund that my team and I are launching. It's called the Emerging Market Cancer Ignition Fund. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It's in the name. We will be investing in oncology or cancer-focused startups. And so MCEF for short is, however, much more than just about smart investing. This has become more of an evolutionary initiative. And prior to this, my team and I, which spans 2 continents, both the US and India, we did two different things, actually 3 different things. The first of which was we built an expansive ecosystem with leadership from diverse fields. We brought in clinicians, scientific folks, vendors and suppliers, service partners, anybody who could give us their expert opinion with respect to oncology. And we layered on top of that a very state-of-the-art, cutting-edge R&D facility, which we built in South India. And I want to let you know that this was built out of an angel network, which I myself built with my team, because it was really out of the ballpark with what a VC would normally invest in. So this was, a separate initiative in itself. And then, to enable close collaboration, we also built out the Lumiseek platform, which you will see in your prospectus there. So following this, we actually mentored and enabled 2 cancer-focused startups who were located in our facility in India to achieve significant milestones despite the ongoing pandemic over the past 2 years. And Enlighten Biosciences, our first startup, has actually 3 assets in preclinical development at this time. And they did this within 2 years. They actually went through 2 rounds of fundraising, and we really enabled them at every step of the way to procure the data that they're now very proud of. And so in doing so, we realized that we can offer this benefit for many other startups which are actually trying to fill specific gaps along the oncology value patient pathway. So that's what the MCEF fund is for. We will be investing in oncology-focused startups. And really, in staying focused, we're able to leverage a lot of diverse experience across different areas of oncology and bring it all to bear. So if any of you are interested in knowing more about this fund, I'd love to speak to you during the rest of this evening. For everybody else, have a great evening. And it was really a pleasure to meet you all this evening. Thank you.
Thanks very much to Himabindu. Really appreciate that. On deck, we have True North. They'll be coming up in just a couple of minutes. I wanted to give an acknowledgement, though, because she's an oncologist. I think it was incredible during the pandemic. Can we have a round of applause for the frontline workers? Because whether they were doctors or nurses or anyone, even grocery store workers, people who were driving, Amazon, everybody, they did such a wonderful job. I remember when coronavirus news first broke. Remember that? Remember where you were. This is going to be one of the things we always remember, March of 2020. And one of the first announcements they made was Columbia Medical School was allowing its students to graduate early. That really tripped me out. It was amazing. They just said, all right, go ahead and go into the field. And to me, you know what this means is that the disease of coronavirus totally justifies the disease of senioritis, right? It's already hard enough to get kids to pay attention in 12th grade or in their final year. How in the world are April and May ever going to matter in college again? Because you have these students who are going out to do surgery. What could be more important than people doing surgery on other people? I don't think any other major is going to matter, really, right? You could get to your senior year and you could be studying economics and say, you know what, I don't really get credit swap defaults. And the professor's going to say, nobody really understands them. Have a great time. It won't matter at all. You can be like, you know what? I'm almost ready to graduate with a degree in history. I kind of don't understand the intricate differences between communism and socialism. Yeah, no one does. Get out of here. It's fine. Don't worry about it, right? I'm in acting. I'm going to graduate. I'm in the theater school, and I just keep getting the upstage and downstage mixed up. Have a great summer. You know, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. I don't know how you get kids ever to pay attention again. Now we have Strategic Minerals. I think he's ready to go on stage. I made you wait there quite a long time. You feel like Vanna White or something like that. I know you're standing right here ready to go. It is Michael, or is it Harold? Michael? Harold. All right, Harold, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. So my background is clean tech primarily. So you're wondering, what does someone interested in minerals doing here? For the past 30 years, I've been involved in environmentally friendly mining. So I started one of my first companies in 1995 called EnviroMining to make mining more sustainable. And then I worked my way through to Sustainable Development International in the late 90s, had a bad experience taking that on to the OTC, and then focused on hydrogen production, electric vehicle manufacturing, and knew that the transition to the green economy is going to need millions of megawatts of new electricity. And in the next 15 years, we'll be building over 1 billion electric vehicles over the next 15 years globally. For this, you need strategic minerals, critical minerals. So my partner is sitting here in the audience. His name is John Turok. We co-founded the company Strategic Minerals last summer, and then we went through all of Nevada and California and found about a dozen open pit mines that were previously producing for US Steel and other companies, and put them under option to reopen these mines. And at these mines, there's about 200 million tons of this material called magnetite, which has byproducts of cobalt and nickel, zinc, and it's primarily used for iron production. So our objective here in the next 6 months is to reactivate some of these mines, these stockpiles. We already have permits. Production's going to start in spring. Our clients are in South Korea, and our objective is to ship about 30 million tons to South Korea to process for coppers and irons and different critical minerals. And we're also going to be using clean tech at these mines, where it'll be a net carbon zero situation, where in another facility in California, we'll be producing electric trucks. And these electric trucks will move this material to Long Beach for shipping to South Korea. So we're looking for $4 million at this point in time, 2 million shares of $2, and we welcome participation from people that are interested in making this world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Harold. Do you know Mohs scale? The hardness scale, Mohs scale. Do you know it from 1 to 10? You know what you want? Can I grill you? Can I give you a quiz? He's a mining expert. You remember Mohs scale? Okay, what's a 3 on the 1 to 10? What is it? Your fingernail. Okay, so Mohs scale measures hardness. Okay, this I remember, one of the few things I remember from my engineering degree. So what's a 6? Feldspar. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. What's a 9? Corundum. Yeah, I know. That's not Google. These are just, yeah, that's not Google. That's just right here. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. What's a 10? Diamond, that's right. I know, that one I know. So pretty awesome. That's awesome. That's good. And this is your mining expert right here? That's good. Okay. From the Stone Age. I'm kidding. That's just a joke. Yeah, see, he's laughing. See, everybody's making sure he's laughing. He's laughing. Don't worry. It's okay. That's fine. Not a problem. That was gold. Oh, that was good. Thank you. That was gold. That was good. That was solid. That was good. That joke is gold. Yeah, he's explaining it. She's explaining it. If you have to explain it, you know, it's not a joke. On deck, we have High Circle that are on deck. And before we get there, we have True North testing. So one thing I wanted to ask before we bring up the person is, how many of you own or have invested in a Tesla? Round of applause if you own a Tesla or if you've invested in a Tesla. Anyone? I see Ravi here has, okay. And I'm going to call people out here. Okay, this man here has, okay. A lot of Teslas out here. So my neighbor right here, sitting right next to me, he has done that too. I'm assuming most of you got in the last 2 to 3 years. And if you imagine investing in a Tesla 5 years ago or earlier, so he's going to take you through that. Come up.
Give me 1 second, guys.
He needs a moment just to pull up the website.
Yeah, you can do your thing meanwhile.
So he's going to do that. And as soon as he's ready, we'll get rolling. You can see behind, under the hood here. So that's good. What's a 2? Come on, Mohs scale. Let's go. 2. Anyone? Come on, Mohs scale. Ice cream? I don't think it's ice cream. It's nice and soft. I think it's talc or gypsum. Yeah. Apatite, fluorite, apatite, feldspar, quartz. Yeah, I know. You want to name the other 7 countries that start with I? Okay, Ireland, India, go. Come on. Indonesia, Iceland, Iran, Iraq, Italy, Indonesia, Puerto Rico, no. What? Yes, Ivory Coast. That's right. I worked at Procter & Gamble. The name of 2 soaps, Ivory Coast. 1 more? We're missing 1. That's 8. Israel. There you go. Nice work. See, that's what teamwork does. Teamwork makes the dream work. You ready to go?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Hey, everybody. My name is Hemant Golla. I'm the founder of High Circle Ventures. So what started as a small group of 10 to 15 friends and family in South Lake, Texas, now in less than 6 months has become a 400 plus accredited high net worth individual club. So what we do is to pool together the SPV, special purpose vehicle, which many of you have heard, and invest in a late stage companies. So late stage companies are the ones which are ready to go to public, maybe in another 1 year or 2 years. We get in much before. That's where I think Raju helped me out. So most of you got into Tesla in the last couple of years or 3 years, right? I mean, imagine getting into Tesla like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right? So what would you give for that? So now, how many of you want to invest in a company like SpaceX, right? So there's not easy way because it's a private company. There's no easy way unless you're ready to put in $100 million check. No hedge fund or VC firm would take you in, right? So at High Circle Ventures, we come up with a solution. We have access. I worked in the Wall Street for 15 years. So we have right now, I mean, we have done a SpaceX investment of 5 million last month, and then now we're doing another 10 million, right? So I think I have 1 more minute. So we have a booth back there, so come over and talk to us. And if you want to invest in SpaceX or any other companies which are going to go public very soon. Now I'm going to shift the gears. So the second part of it, we're also launching a new platform called High Circle Exchange, right? we are going to provide liquidity for illiquid assets. Let's say if you own a piece of land, multifamily apartment, or hotels, they're all illiquid assets. If you want to get out, you cannot get out. Once you invest, you're locked in for 3 to 5 years, right? So we have a solution through the HCX because we have been hearing this from our members, our 400 members, in the last 6 months. I invested in Klarna, I invested in Automation Anywhere or SpaceX. Now I have urgency or like something else. I need to get the money out. But when you put in an illiquid asset, you cannot take money out, right? So we are solving that problem because we've been hearing it every day, right? And the HiCircle exchange is getting launched by Thanksgiving. So reach out to us at highcircleventures.com. And so you can learn more about how to invest in SpaceX and also other companies, and also learn more about HCX platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Hemant. That was great. Thank you for that. We want to go ahead and go back. Let's see if I can figure this out. I think I can. I know most scale and countries, but as far as PowerPoint, that's a little more. You got to flip the mouse over. I got that part right. Okay. Let's see. From current slide. Watch this, folks. Let's see. I think you just click it. Haha, I think we got it. Yeah, I think so. Oh, it's my face. That's great. That worked really well. Oh, they'll put it up. Okay. Let's go back here.
Yeah, we are good.
Okay, good. We got it.
We have last one.
Yeah, one more. Yeah, this one.
So then announce about the panel after this.
Okay.
Another powerful panel.
Okay. After our last pitch, we have 2 more pitches. And I went out of order a little bit. I kind of Neptune Pluto'd this a little. I got really excited about the Mo scale. I got really excited about it. I got thrown off here a little bit. So it's True North is next, right? It's kind of ironic to screw up True North. I think True North is this one, right? Okay, True North. All right. Corruption is their True North. All right. I'm a big fan of Succession, so I'm going to quote Succession all night. Okay. We got Michael coming to the stage right now. Not Michael Jordan, although I do have a Michael Jordan story if you want to hear it. So, Michael Jordan's sister was your secretary? Okay, I want to hear about that for 2 minutes. We're going to give you another 2 minutes. Thanks very much, Hemant. On deck, our last one is going to be Nick Yoka. So if you're ready, Yaka, hopefully I got that right. I got a minute to get that right, I think. Up now is True North. Have at it, Michael.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. I'm Michael Malkasian, founder of True North Testing, TNT for short. We're developing the premier marijuana, hemp, and CBD testing lab in the world's largest market, California, specifically Southern California. California law requires that all cannabis products sold legally must be tested by a state-accredited, state-licensed lab for contaminants, purity, and potency. And only approximately 10% of the marijuana grown in the state of California is actually being tested. The Department of Cannabis Control estimates that we need at least 100 labs just to meet current demand. However, we only have 41 in the state, and most of them are small. So what we did was we've studied other labs to learn their strengths and weaknesses. Most are small, less than 2,000 square feet, have no backup analyzers, and a very small throughput of 40 to 50 tests a day. They're run by scientists, not business people, and they're continually disappointing their clients. True North Testing has some significant competitive advantages. Our lab design began where others left off, so we learned from their mistakes and what they did right. Our facilities is over 8,500 square feet and can produce 400 plus tests a day. We're modifying our lab for maximum throughput and efficiency. We have adequate space for multiple analyzers and technicians, and we're located within 30 minutes of 291 collection locations, the largest anywhere in the world. We've also partnered with the leading lab analyzer brand to create the state-of-the-art lab, and this comes with a lot of proprietary advantages for us. We're the only lab in the world to have this distinction. It's a template for the 3 to 5 additional labs we plan to build in the next 2 to 3 years. We're very scalable. Our daily throughput will be at least 400 tests a day and can generate gross income of at least $180,000 a day with a gross profit in excess of 50%. And those numbers don't even include testing hemp and CBD products. We've assembled a management team of seasoned professionals. Our chief science officer is very well recognized in the industry. Oh, stop. We're looking for an investment of $3 million for 35% of the company, and you can find me anywhere.
Okay, we didn't mean to chase you off stage, Michael. Oh, he did say stop. That's fair. Okay, that's a good point. He's true north. He always knows where he's going. So that was kind of funny. I don't think of true north and marijuana together. That's a funny. I think of people like, aren't people like slumped over when they're smoking? They're not really true north. That's a good one. And he's drinking. Well, you're drinking water, right? Okay, there you go. Okay, we're safe. We're safe. Maybe he's smoking up in the bathroom. Okay, I don't know. All right, can I say that? I don't know if I can say that. Do we have Nick Yaka? Are they here, the law firm? They are here, right here. Is it Yaka or Yoka? Yaka. I should have gone with my first instinct there. Nick Yaka. There we go. Where's that from? It's Italian. Yes. Okay, all right, that's good. Can I ask that? Can you ask that in this day and age? Where's that from? I just asked. So, okay, there we have it. All right, there you have it. All right, we have Nick Yaka, law firm. He is our last pitch of the evening, so give him your undivided attention. And after that, I'll do some stand-up. We'll have a powerful panel, and we'll keep it going. But give it up, man. Bring the house down for Nick Yaka.
Rajiv, thank you so much. I just want to thank you all for being here. And I just want to thank you for supporting entrepreneurialism, which is something that Nick Yaka Law Firm also does. We work with companies and help them work out their deals with investors. But of course, there have to be investors and there have to be entrepreneurs. And thank you all for doing your thing. And we hope to work for you in the future if we can. We're located in Orange County and my contact information is right there. Thank you again and good night.
The biggest achievement we might have tonight is how far ahead we are on the timeline. We were looking at this, and Ashish and I were going, this is the new administration here, Ashish. I tell you what, in the beginning, they're like, go, 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 you got to get going, you got to go. And suddenly we looked down, we're like, is it the time change? What happened? Did we lose an hour? What just happened? I don't know how in the world we went through that so fast. That was incredible. I did promise Anshuman that I was going to tell my Michael Jordan story, and I really do have a Michael Jordan story. This is true, and it involves TiE, okay? So one night, maybe some of you were there, I don't know, at the Ritz-Carlton Baccara in Santa Barbara. Clap if you were there. Was anyone there at the TiE event? Santa Barbara, Ritz-Carlton. Okay. Either it was too high class for you guys, or I'm making it up. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but no. It was a really, really high class event. I could not afford to stay there, but they put me up as part of my compensation. It was great. TiE took really good care of me. I got to stay there. It was incredible. And as you can see from my feet, I do care about my shoes. Shoes are a big thing for me. I packed these shoes separately in a case and I brought them because I really care what my shoes look like. And I had two pairs of shoes with me that night. I had a pair that kind of looks like this. They were a black pair of corporate boots. And then I had my white Jordan 11s. Okay, so those of you who know anything about Air Jordans, you know that the white Jordan 11s are like the shoe to have. And I was really torn as to which one to wear because it was I think it was my first TiE event in a while. I performed for TiE maybe 12 years before that. And I was like, okay, I'm coming back. I want to be a little bit conservative. I don't know if I should do jokes about taking 2 minutes in bed or anything. Now I feel comfortable. I can tell you those jokes. But at the time, I was like, okay, let's play it conservative. I'm going to wear my black corporate boots, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm walking on the beach. This is right there in Santa Barbara, right here at the Ritz-Carlton. It was incredible. And I see this big man walking towards me. And after a minute, I could be like, oh, he's really tall. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's black. Oh my gosh, he has an earring. Oh my gosh, he's bald. And we're walking right past each other. And I go, how's it going? He goes, how you doing? And we keep walking. That's all we say to each other. And later that night, I find out, you know where I'm going with this, Michael Jordan was staying at the Baccara. Now, anyone who knows me knows I'm an enormous Michael Jordan fan. I have the shoes after all, and I miss my opportunity to talk to my idol. I tell my friends this story. They're like, how did you miss him? How did you miss Michael Jordan if it's just he and you on a beach? And I go, look, I have a lot of fantasies of Michael Jordan. They don't involve us on a beach, all right? That's not what I ever imagined, that I would see him walking towards me on a beach. That's just not what I imagined. And I wish I would have worn my white Jordan 11s, right? I wish I would have known that TiE is a fun group. I would have known. I would have worn my party shoes, my cool shoes, and maybe Michael Jordan would have talked to me, and he would have been like nice shoes. It would have been like one of his commercials. Now, my only consolation prize that I have is that right now, Michael Jordan is performing at an event, and he's telling this exact same story. But from his perspective, right? He's like, one night I was at the Baccara and I could afford to stay there. And I'm walking along and I see this short, bald Indian man. I could tell he was a fan, not just because of his shoes, but because of his hairstyle. And he did not harass me, he did not bother me, all he said was, "How you doing?" That is one short, smooth, bald, brown man. Thank you. I know it's not often, like a lot of you have a story about the time you did not meet Michael Jordan. I know it's not really that interesting, but it is. It's wild. It was very TiE adjacent. I went to the bar afterwards trying to meet Michael Jordan and he was nowhere to be found. It was so sad. Of course, in the beginning, Jerry mentioned that my big claim to fame is that I performed on all 7 continents, and that is true. Of course, I had done North America. That was not very difficult to do. And I had done Asia because I performed all over India. 11 states in India, every state in the South, even though I'm Punjabi. Balle, balle, where are my Punjabis here? I see some Punjabis here tonight, so welcome to the Punjabis, my people here. But then I asked my wife, I'm like, all right, how do we get all 7 continents? Can we do this? Is this possible? And I invited my wife to fly with me around the world. And we did. We flew around the world in 20 days. She did not have a lot of time off from work. And so I booked a couple of gigs in Australia. Now, we have someone here from Malaysia. This is not too far from Malaysia, but we will go to Australia. I'm booked on a couple of gigs in Brisbane, Australia. And if you want to make the Australians laugh, all you have to do is make fun of the British. Okay, that's it. That's the easiest way. We have someone here for Irish too, right? If you want to make you laugh, us laugh, or the Australians laugh, you just make fun of the British. That's the easiest thing to do. Because the thing is, the British are very intelligent. Of course they are. They're very smart people, all right? But I think we give them a little bit too much credit, right? They're smart, but they're not that smart. I think what it is the accent, right? You hear that accent, and it just sounds correct, whatever they say, right? If I say to you, sir, 2 and 2 is 5, you look at me and you're like, no, it's not. But if I look at you and I'm like, 2 and 2 is 5, love, you got to think about it for a second. There's a minute there where we're not totally sure. Now, the British used to send their criminals to Australia. Some of us in this room probably know that. They used to send their criminals to Australia. But that proves that the British are not that intelligent, because if you've been to Australia, it's way better than England. It's much larger, it's warmer, they have cooler animals, there's more space. I think if the British were really that intelligent, they would have gone to Australia and left the criminals in England. Now, we're in Australia, I do my gigs in Brisbane and in Sydney, and I'm like, all right, why don't we go to Africa? It can't be that far away. I told you I went to US public school. 18 hours later, we land in Africa, because I didn't realize it'd be that far. I'm an American. I'm like, it's a southern hemisphere. How far can it be, right? There's only a billion people down there anyway. How far can it be? So we land in South Africa. My mother-in-law was born in Durban. She was born on the east coast of South Africa. She grew up there. And I loved South Africa. I performed in Johannesburg and in Cape Town. It was a blast. But the funny thing about South Africa is they kind of gave up when they named the country, right? I mean, South Africa, that's not really that hard to come up with. They're like, what continent are we on? Africa, what's the direction south? We're done. We're going to stop right there. But if you think about it, Americans were not really any better at it. You know, have you ever been to the store, mailboxes, etc.? They kind of stopped naming it in the middle. They were like, the hell with it. It's not as cool as True North. You know, they just kind of stopped. You go to Linens and Things. All right, sure. I guess we'll figure out what those things are when we go in there. We remodeled our house, and we had to spend a lot of time at Home Depot. And I liked Home Depot. I just feel like it'll be a lot better when they finish the store. Right? Did you ever walk into Home Depot? And it's nothing like Lowe's, right? You walk in, you're like, are they done yet? Are they open? They have the raw materials, just put them up. It's not going to be really that difficult. We flew home through Europe, so that was the way that we completed our journey, as we came home through France. Now, the French were very insistent in Paris that I do at least one joke in French. That was a big thing for them. They're like, you have to do at least one joke in French. I had not taken French since college. I took it in high school, I took it in college, and I was really good at it, but it had been a long time. So, does anyone here know what the French word is for now? Oh, look at these cultured people. Maintenant. Very, oh, areva. Very nice. Very nice. Bahut cultured hai. Very nice. Okay, so that's right. It is maintenant, which is a very long word for now. This explains why the French are always late. By the time you get finished saying maintenant, it's no longer maintenant. So they like that joke. Of course, I had already performed in the Middle East. I don't know how many people have been to the Middle East. Some of the nicest people in the world. I love performing in the Middle East. I've been to Oman, to Dubai, all these places. And I finally went to Kuwait for the first time. And Kuwait was amazing. It was great. These 3 comedians were opening for me, and I kind of needed that because I was performing in front of 1,200 people. I had to do 70 minutes in front of 1,200 people. It went great. I ended up doing 80. It was such a blast. It was so fun. But I was nervous beforehand because that's a lot of people in a foreign country, right? So I was like, I'm going to go in early. My dad went with me, you know, because I'm in my 40s. And he went with me. And we land a few days early. And to show me around Kuwait City, they took me to a mall. Now, if you've been to Kuwait and you've been to some of the malls there, they're incredible. But I don't think you were going to teach an American much about society if it's a mall, right? I thought when they said a mall, it was a guy named a mall. No, it was actually a shopping mall. And I go, I'm an American. We invented shopping malls. Why are you taking me to a shopping mall? So this year, these same 3 comedians are coming to the United States for the very first time. And I'm going to take them to Death Valley. Right? I feel it's the only way to get back at them. They're going to fly for 20 hours from the Middle East, and I'm going to drive them to the desert. Be like, we have heat, we have sand, welcome to America. So how in the world was I going to do the last 2? How was I going to do South America and Antarctica? This is going to be really tough, right? So I asked a bunch of my friends. I asked 87 of my closest friends, and about half of them were like, oh, I'll go. And I was telling my friend Ashish, I go, I think he is different, Ashish. And he goes, I think a lot of people are going to go. He goes, wait till you have to ask for deposits. Okay, this is when you find out. Anyone here who's ever planned anything, you know this is when it gets serious. He goes, wait till people actually have to Venmo you something. This is where it's going to get serious. So, does anyone here know the group API? Okay, API. A lot of you are shaking. You know, you're nodding your heads. API is the Asian American Physicians of Indian. It stops. It's like Linden's and things. It really should be Apio because Indian origin. Right? They just kind of stop at Api. I don't know why they stop there. But every year, this group of Indian doctors has been going to Antarctica. And the man who plans it, Vikram, lives in Chicago. And I was terrified. I'm like, how am I going to go to Antarctica? It's going to be so cold. And he goes, no, we're not going to the South Pole in the winter at night. We're going to the peninsula in the daytime in the summer. It's not that cold. In fact, it's colder every year in Chicago at this time than it is in Antarctica. And so we're like, we're going to go to the part, if you know the poster of God and Adam, it's like that. It's South America comes down and Antarctica, like the tip is coming up like this. And we're like, we're just going to go there. So I flew to Buenos Aires. And after a few hours in Buenos Aires, I realized I screwed up by not being born Latino. If you've ever hung out with the Latino people, you know that they have it figured out. They had great food, great parties, they're very laid back, they're having a great time. We're going out to clubs, and it's a Wednesday night. We get home at 5 in the morning, and we sail down to Antarctica. Before that, though, we had to fly to Ushuaia. So I don't know if anyone's been this far down, but you go all the way to the southernmost city in the world. It's called Ushuaia. And then we set sail. We have 60 Indian doctors, my white college roommate, and me. And that's it. We're going on this ship. It's really scary. They brought along an Indian chef because Indian people cannot be without our food, okay? These 60 Indian doctors had to figure it out. They brought along an Indian chef. He put the tikka in Antarctica. I tell you, this guy was quite a good chef. He was really good. And if any of you know, and the oncologists will know this, how do you stay, from getting seasick? Because this is what happens. You're in the ocean, okay? Between South America and Antarctica, you're in the middle of nowhere. It's about 500 miles, and it's scary. You're going along, and you'll see like seals, you'll see whales, and it's really cute. We saw this like 2 big whales and 2 small whales, and somebody asked, like, do the families stay together? And I'm like, well, it depends who they vote for. But otherwise, yeah, they probably do. And we see birds. You see birds flying. Like, where are these birds going in the middle of nowhere? They're just flying along. Surface tension. Help me out here, scientists. Okay, so they can land on the water. And what ends up happening is a ship can pitch up to 30 feet. Which is why my wife, Hersha, did not go. She's like, I'm not going. Also, she's Gujarati. She's like, this is going to cost twice as much. You go by yourself. I'm like, fine, I will go by myself to Antarctica. And so you can imagine this, right? You're on the ship. It is, and if you've listened to rock and roll, where does the term rock and roll come from? It comes from how people were rocking on ships, and then they were also rolling. So you're rocking like this, you're rolling like that, and you're pitching up and down up to 30 feet. So you have to put on something called a scopolamine patch, okay? I don't know if anyone ever worn one, but it's supposed to fight seasickness. But one of the side effects of it is nausea. I've never heard of that with a medicine that's supposed to fight something, and the side effect is the thing it's supposed to be fighting. I've never heard of that before. You want to take Viagra? It might cause impotence. No, it can cause impotence. That's why I'm taking Viagra. That doesn't make any sense. But they're like, no, trust me, seasickness is way, way worse than nausea. You don't want it. It's terrible. And they tell you on the instructions, you have to put it on a non-hairy part of your body. You're listening to us earlier, right? We're Indian. Where can we put it on a non-hairy part of our body except behind the ear, all right? So we land in Antarctica, and to Navneet's point, I did perform for a bunch of penguins. This is true. I did all right. It was a cold room, but I warmed them up. It was a lot of fun, and I became the first person ever to perform on all 7 continents. It was so fun. Thank you so much. It was an absolute blast. I missed Christmas with my wife, but I was in South America, so I was like, let me know if you want anything from Amazon. That's a geography joke. You should get that. This is a worldly crowd. Okay, so that's what ended up happening. It was really an incredible, incredible time. So, folks, I tell you what, I'm going to bring a very powerful panel to the stage right now. We can go ahead and put up the slide. And we'll welcome them to the stage, and that will be it. But this is a powerful panel. You're really going to enjoy this. Some super power going on here. So we can bring them up, and we'll give them the microphones. And I believe I have to give you one of mine. But it is the founding partner of 2045 Capital, Carmen Palafox. Of course, the chair of SoCal Angels, Shankar Ram. The partner at Ad Astra Ventures. I like that movie, Brad Pitt. Dr. Sylvia Ma, the president of Tech Coast Angels, OC David Friedman, and the founder of Expert Dojo, not to be confused with Dojo Cat, Brian Mac Mahone. And it will be interactive. There are 2 microphones, 2 lonely microphones have stood there all night, so we got to put them to good use. If you do want to be seen on camera, you can come up because this event is streaming, but even if you stay in the back, when you speak, your voice will be carried. So be careful what you say, okay? So, but be sure to ask questions. This is an interactive panel, and this will be the conclusion of our evening. Folks, you can move up a little bit if you'd like to. Just get in a little closer, get some energy going in here if you'd like to be closer to this panel. If not, that's totally fine.
Smile. No witness protection. Smile.
And by the way, the startups, pay attention. This is directed very closely to you. You're moderating. Okay. Everybody's got a mic? Okay. I'm going to now turn it back over to Shankar Ram. I am now a LA Rams fan because you know what? Ram. Why would I not be? I was trying Chargers or Rams. I'm like, I'll go with the Rams because it's got Ram in the title. Shankar Ram. There you go.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Let me introduce the panel members alphabetically. Brian. Brian is the owner of Expert Dojo. He's a serial entrepreneur and investor. I've known him for quite some time, and he's a very good friend and really supports the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Expert Dojo is the largest international incubator in Southern California, and Expert Dojo is invested in over 100 companies, at close to 150 companies now, and the most important thing is 40% of those are female-founded companies. And he's a strong supporter of TiE SoCal. I get a lot of deals from him, and I think every cohort he puts together, I'm one of the first guys to go listen to them and advise them. So thank you, Brian. The next is Carmen, alphabetically going. Carmen is with the 2045 Ventures, or 2045 Ventures. She's got multiple degrees from USC and UCLA in finance and investment. And she has a strong background in that, and she invests in companies pre-seed and seed stage. She's also a partner at MyLA Capital. Is it MyLA? MyLA Capital, which is actually investing in technologies that you can touch. And next is David. David and I'm part of Tech Coast Angels, Orange County, and David is our president. And I think this is the last year for him. I think Lisa has taken over. And I've known him. He's an engineer with an MBA. And he loves innovation. And he works at the intersection of technology and customers. So he wants to create, he's a creator, but he's also an avid investor. He's been at Tech Coast for almost 15 years, I guess, of 13 years. 13 years. And he's, again, another guy we work with on deals for TiE SoCal. And last but not least is Sylvia Ma. No, sorry, Dr. Sylvia Ma. She's a PhD, and her credentials are unbelievable. No, she is herself a high achiever. And she supports a group of high achievers, mainly women, female-founded companies. And I think she's got 66 investments, 4 exits, 1 IPO. It's a long story. She sent me a 1-page bio, and I said, wow. It's just one of those brilliant people who supports female founders. I think all her investments are female-founded investments.
Female and BIPOC, so
BIPOC.
brown founders.
Yes.
Only brown males are allowed in my portfolio.
So I'm going to keep this panel, I think, because we don't have much time. So it's going to be 2-part. The first part is I'm going to throw some things at them, and then they can each, either if I miss something, they can introduce in detail, and also their thesis. The second part will be a Q&A from the audience to the panel members. Basically, I wanted to ask them, it's a simple question everybody knows, and I think from their perspective, what do they look for in an investment? What do they look for in a founder? What do they look for in a company? You know, because different people have different ideas. Is it the team you're looking for? Is it the intellectual property you're looking for? Is it the business plan, finance? What is it you look for? Like she said, female founders. So, okay, you already drawn the line there and said, this is what I'm going to do. So what is the thesis? What is it you invest on? And so that audience can understand what is it you can go to them. Okay? So we can start same thing alphabetically if you want. Start with Brian, Carmen, David, and then Sylvia.
Greg, lovely to be here. It's so nice to be invited back. I think I'm testament to the tremendous diversity in TiE that you allow a random Irish guy to be on the panel. So well done, TiE. Awesome. I don't want to say the usual stuff like team and great product and everything else. I mean, we just look for beasts. I don't normally quote like big entrepreneurs, but I love Elon Musk's quote of being an entrepreneur or a startup is like eating glass while staring into the abyss. And it just takes a very special type of person to make it to the end of the track. So for me, I just look for beasts. We're a growth hacking investment firm. We just work on growth. We know it's going to be the most difficult, toughest, hardest journey that anybody's going to go through in their entire life. And for us, it's looking at that person who we believe can make it through to the very end.
Is there any vertical you focus on?
So we started off. So look, first of all, I would tell you our favorite place right now, and I'm not saying it because I'm here. I've been a fan of TiE for an awful long time. India is unbelievable right now. So if India is a vertical, we are all in India. I think we've invested in about 12 or 13 companies in the last month and a half. So we love just very highly scalable startups, and we love regions and geographies that will do that. Probably only around 20 to 25% of our investments are in the US, and the rest are in the rest of the world. But they'll fit into that, and we'll go through across industries.
Yes, thank you. So I got into venture in 2015, and with 2 business partners started a firm called Mila Capital, investing in hardware tech, so tech you can touch. In 2020, I launched 2045 Ventures, and the thesis for 2045 Ventures is that diverse teams outperform. So there's data that shows that ethnically diverse teams return 30% more to investors. teams with at least one female founder return 63% more to their investors. They're capital efficient, they're scrappy, they have that grit that Brian talked about. And so I will invest in startups where there's at least one founder who is either an immigrant or from an underrepresented background. My investment experience is in climate tech and fintech and in health tech.
David?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be in front of TiE. It's a great group, and I look forward to actually working with them, see if we can actually exchange deals. What I look for in a company is basically what Brian and Carmen said, but I look at the CEO, and I really don't care if it's a woman or a male, although I do agree with you, Carmen, that women tend to be really good and passionate. But passion is the word that I'm really interested in seeing. I want to see somebody that has a great backstory. I want to see the passion of the entrepreneur, and I want to see something that can be massified. I don't want to see something that it's just a better mousetrap. I want to see something that can be grown. I want to see something that can be extended over and over again, be it in the United States or globally.
Hi, everyone. I'm just full of gratitude for being here, so thank you so much for having me. I'm an investor since 2010, 66 plus. I'm at 2 days ago, 69. So I'm very excited. I only invest in female-led businesses. I think it's a better business decision, and BIPOC founders. So, and I'm industry agnostic in the pre-seed, seed stage. I have done Series C once and about a couple of Series A. And I love that we've had one IPO this year, have had 4 exits, and I've also invested in 11 emerging fund managers. I think it's important as investors to invest in other fund managers that are underrepresented, but they're kicking butt, right? So we want to make sure that they are supported because they're supporting the innovation that I want to see in the world to make the impact that we all want to see. So let's see, I've also launched an accelerator about 8 years ago, Stella Labs. We also have Stella Angels, which we have 18 women angels who only invest in female entrepreneurs, and we're hoping through all of our SPVs this year to close about $500,000 of funding to female founders just with our angels. I've also started 3 years ago at Astra Ventures with 3 of my venture partners, and we now I think are about 18 companies in our portfolio, and then also started about 4 years ago, Next Wave Impact Fund that came from Rising Tide Fund, which was the start of Portfolio. So hopefully you know Portfolio from Trish Costello. And then so Next Wave Impact Fund, I was on the investment committee. There was about 8 of us, global fund, and we invested in 18 companies that were all impact and diverse founders. More about my investment thesis, I want information rights, and I want to be very entrepreneurial friendly. And what I see, the 2 things I want to see from a startup is the founder needs to have high integrity, period. Like done. Values alignment. Secondly is that founder market fit. We've kind of aligned here that they need to know the market somehow. They have to have a moat. They have to understand that market sideways, forwards, backwards, forwards, everywhere. And so that they can really make the impact that they want to do in that industry with the innovation that they know 100% works and that customers will buy from them.
Is it any particular vertical focus?
Yeah. No, I'm industry agnostic. I love science as a PhD in biochemistry and molecular biology from SIO. Love the ocean, love science. Deep tech is just exciting. I do all the due diligence by myself with, of course, helpers in the industry that understand the sciences. But any industry is good. The exit this year was in CPG, but it was more femtech. And at Astra, it's about half of our portfolio is in femtech.
So you see the common theme here, women, female-founded companies, immigrants. So you see the theme. It's really important for us, for TiE also, to look into most of those investments. We do have TiE Women Global, where we have a competition for women. And like, for example, Rashi, they all compete in that, and we do select winners. And I think TiE Southern California just invested in an all-women-owned company, consumer company. And so we are always looking for female-founded companies. It's very difficult to find them in LA, and because we have other values, right? Valuation, the return, the business, a lot of other things, and alignment, as I said, it's important. Switching to valuation. Now, the past 6 months or 1 year, there's so much money in the market. I also heard VCs are coming into angel investment now. VCs, because they have so much money, they just say, oh, we have $200 million, we got to come into angel investments. And especially India, you see companies coming up with such high valuation. Does that bother you? Is valuation important in your evaluation? Does it bother you?
So this is the greatest and most interesting time of all times because it's an all-out war. The private equity funds have entered into the space, the Tiger Globals, the SoftBanks. They've decided they want to be seed investors. All the lovely venture capitalists who sat there very happily doing their follow-on rounds or putting their $1 million or $2 million in are now being squeezed out by the NEAs, the Sequoias, all of the large funds. It is an absolute bloodbath out there. If this was a movie, this is Game of Thrones, like 3rd season right now. And winter's not just coming, it's right here for venture capitalists, which means that startups have the greatest opportunity of all time, in my opinion. And startups should take as much money as they can possibly take. I'm an old guy, this is my 4th recession, it's going to come in a year or two. We know that. That will be the greatest bargain basement of all time. We're going to be able to buy up the Series B and C companies with our companies. So startups, it's awesome. Investors, yes, there are some high valuations out there, but there's also some amazing deals. And I would argue the best, and I'm not saying this, like I have never seen the quality of startups that we have today. They're coming from all over the world. I keep saying India, but you've also got Africa is unbelievably strong in fintech. You have got female founders, to your point, who are coming out like a force like never before. Our 3 biggest investments in Africa are all female founders, all breaking through. India the same. So look, this is really fun and it's really interesting. And if you're not starting a company right now, you're absolutely nuts because this is the only show to be on in town.
Excuse me. People in the back, hello? Can you please keep the noise level down? Take a seat or please get out of the conference room.
That tells me. Yeah, so I'll go next. We'll just go down the line. Yeah, so valuations are increasing. When I started back in 2009, valuations, the normal angel round was looking for $250,000, $500,000 max, and you were at $1.5, $2 million. Right now, according to the ACA study, it's basically like $8.5 million is the average, round for an angel. And in California, because of the location, it's probably about 9.5. We're seeing a lot of deals, and in Tech Coast Angels, by the way, we invest in the United States and Canada. We don't invest overseas at this time, variety of reasons why, tax issues notwithstanding. But one of the things that we have to be very aware of is that when you invest in an angel deal, and you all know this, that the percentage of deals that actually come through that actually give you your returns are very, very few. So Dave Burkus, who's a very well-known super angel, has invested in 125 deals, and 95% of his money came out of less than 10. We expect out of the 10 deals that we invest in, about, maybe 7 will go belly up, a couple will return something, and that one big hitter is the one we rely on. So it's very critical when we look at a deal to look at the end result. Can we get an exit that's 10, 15, 20x? And the good news is we've been able to do that. One of our first investments was Green Dot. They're an IPO. The next one was MindBody. Another one was Sandpiper. Most recently, Parcel Pending. And there's another one that was even a bigger one at about 220x. But those few deals will give us the best return. The problem is we need the valuation low enough so we have the potential, based upon the analysis of the deal, to get our 10, 15x. Otherwise, the returns on the investment in an angel deal are not as good as being in the public markets. And you all know what the public markets have done over the last several years. The returns there have been substantial. So that's in essence what we're competing with, notwithstanding also what Brian is talking about. The VCs are coming downstream and they are competing for dollars. So they're actually bringing up the valuation, which is unfortunate, but they have much more money than we do as angels.
So So I think that it's very dangerous for a startup to have a high valuation if they can't justify that valuation. It leaves very, very little room for mistakes, for errors, for pivots. They have to basically perform and execute perfectly in order to get a higher valuation at the next round. So that's one of the problems with going out with a high valuation. I've seen a lot of companies do this. I've also seen a lot of companies basically price out the smaller funds, and the smaller funds add so much value because they have so much to prove. They hustle, they work hard. If you get big money check from a big investor that typically doesn't invest in that round, they're probably not going to pay any attention to you or do anything for you. So I think for founders, they should be pricing to what their projected revenue is and where their access to capital is, and take it all into consideration. I also think there's a lot of market inefficiencies across sectors. So you'll see everyone's going crazy for NFTs and crypto and making a ton of money there. But I think there's massive opportunities in areas like climate tech, where you can have massive impact and still get great deals.
Yeah, I mean, I love all this energy here, right, of all of this information. I actually have a separate anecdote, is that I also see founders that are the underrepresented founders that have their valuations taken down, right? Not at the level that they should be. So that's one thing. I mean, even today we had a conversation with an angel, and she said that a bigger, Series A venture group came in and said, we want to, have a down round with actually the board members in the room. And the board members are like, no, right? So I'm seeing that like hyper growth and all, but I also see a little bit of this nitty gritty of, especially for the underrepresented founders, not that I want to like paint a bad picture of it. And then also for the industries that people don't know. So that's why, companies like Coyote Ventures that are really doing really instrumental work in the femtech industry, or other industries that you all know that might not be the ones that are the fancy schmancy ones, make sure that people understand that valuation does make sense, right? So there's a little bit of still a little bit of awareness of some of those industries that people don't know, especially, as I said, femtech. But I would also say that about, a year ago, I was probably pitched like 1,000, cotton tampon companies, right? So, and the valuations were through the roof. But only when all of us kind of brought together and said, the femtech industry is huge with all of these wonderful verticals, talk about that as entrepreneurs and investors. And then my last thing is that with valuations, the ones that are coming down, those I love how you say it's like that value creation for the angels here, right? That are all angel investors, right? In the room, right? I know we bring so much value, right? And then these ones are coming down. We're like, are you sure, entrepreneur? So I always have conversations with entrepreneurs saying there's 3 C's. There's network capital, there's human capital, and financial capital. So if you can get that financial capital because you have this wonderful valuation and this Series A venture capitalist wants to have you, it might not be the best time at the time that you are, because you don't have the revenue to project that, and you need help. You need resources that TiE actually gives, that Angel Groups gives, TCA gives. Don't worry about getting that huge, awesome valuation. Not come a little bit down, but be realistic and get the resources that you need, so that your next round, you don't have a down round. You have wow, you have taken it out of the park, and then you can say, Series A investors, come on, now I can take you, because I know where I am, right? So I just want to kind of say, yes, I see the valuations are going up, so I just wanted to give that 2 cents there.
Yeah, she said basically what I wanted to say. So actually, angel investment is one of the toughest ones. We expect a higher multiple, but we offer so much more to the founders. So there's no point taking the high valuation from these VCs coming in, because they're not going to offer what we give. They are interested in getting out. They just want to get it faster. They want the next Series A's and Series B, whereas we really want to nurture. We want to grow. Nurture is the right word. We nurture them. We want to be part of it, because most of us are entrepreneurs. And I said, I love entrepreneurship. I invest because I love entrepreneurship, not because I want to make money. I know I will make money because at least 3 out of 10 deals will make money. So angel investment groups offer more than just money. So valuation, be realistic. That's my word I always use, be realistic. Don't just, yeah, somebody gave me this valuation. Be realistic. Look at the market. Don't give me, oh, that company got this much and I need to get that much. It's not, definitely we're not going to invest in it. But anyway, that shows to prove that there is a problem. VCs are coming in, the valuation is going up, and there's a lot of competition, so much money around, which means that we as angel groups and venture groups have to work together to close these deals. Because especially Southern California, I'm talking from Santa Barbara to San Diego, Southern California, we need to work together to develop this ecosystem. And that's exactly why we did this summit. We want to make this a flagship event of TiE SoCal. We will be doing this every year. The next year, I already said, this is going to be bigger room. We're going to want it bigger, we want to meet more people in, so that we get to know, investors get to know entrepreneurs get to know investors, and we need to build this momentum. And I don't want to say we don't want VCs coming in. We want to not give them the opportunity. We need to take the opportunity. So thank you so much. I think the fantastic panel members. Is there any other thing you want to add?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we want to be able to do is establish partnerships with the VCs. I mean, and they're coming down now. If you have a VC fund, it goes about the Brian said, they're all coming down to into our market. If you have a $200 million fund, and even if they put in $500,000 or $1 million, are they really going to give a lot of attention to an entrepreneur? The answer is no. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Network capital, human capital that we can provide as guidance, which goes back to how you want to find the CEO. Passion is great, but if they're not coachable, they're not a starter for us. Yeah. So we want a coachability. We want to be able to help the entrepreneur. We want to be able to establish the relationship with the VC. Why? Because when we go into the next round, into a late seed, a bridge, an A, a B, we want somebody to pick up that the capital for that growth.
Shai, okay, I just got to add one final little point, and that's that, look, venture capital has been broken for 40 years. It is a sexist, misogynistic, elitist, and racist institution in general, in my opinion, right? And that means it's a boys' club, and the boys they'd go out, you'd have golf on a Friday afternoon, you decide who gets passed down the deals, and then everybody says, yeah, I added a ton of value, but really you made 4 introductions, you didn't add a ton of value. We're in a new paradigm right now, and that means that it's about what we add to the entrepreneurs. Like, I see folks in here, I see Rushab over there from Matchbook. Like, what was the first thing I did? I called my buddy Shankar, and I'm like, Shankar, he needs you. Because of what you represent and what you do. The money is not important. The valuation in that case isn't important. But what's important is we as angels need to work a lot harder. Kaleidoscope, exactly the same. Like, we took it, we bring him in, we should have to work harder. We shouldn't just give 2 or 3 introductions. So I think this is a wake-up call for all of us in the venture capital space. Those of us who listen to that wake-up call, we will make a shit ton of money. Those people who just think it's like it was before, well, good luck to you all.
Okay. I want to end this round. If each one of you can give how people can contact you, at least what is the process within your company to select companies, angels?
Generally, nobody wants to contact me after I finish the panel. But if you're lost, you can reach out to Brian at expertdojo.com. We love investing in early stage companies. We take them at the earliest stage and love collaborating with our great friends at TiE.
Yeah, if you want to get to Tech Coast Angels, anyone can call me day and night to get me on LinkedIn. There are 536 David Friedmans on LinkedIn. However, I have, because I was an early user of LinkedIn, it's linkedin.com/IN/David Friedman. Real simple. Or just contact us through Orange County. I'll be more than happy to talk to any entrepreneur, actually. And I do it all the time, day and night.
And best contact for me is also connecting via LinkedIn.
What is the process?
Well, so right now I'm most excited about climate tech, fintech, and health tech. So if you are at the pre-seed stage, very, very early, then you can get in touch with me at c@2045vc.com.
So I'm everywhere. So LinkedIn is probably the best place. I am an immigrant from Caracas, Venezuela. So I do have, my maiden name is Armitano. So I married Chinese Mexican. I'm from Venezuela, American Italian. So whatever. So find me on LinkedIn, and also Sylvia at adastra.ventures. We also have 4 people who source deals from Crescent Ridge, Ad Astra, Stella Angels. So if you are a female angel, female entrepreneur out there who does want to pitch to Stella Angels, we have a very simple form, and that kind of gets lumped into everybody else. And then I'm connected to every single female angel group across the United States, and we talk. We always talk. We always share deals all the time. So just connect with me. I'm also on Instagram, SheInvests100. So I'm kind of everywhere. Twitter. Oh, Clubhouse. Anybody's on Clubhouse? Yes, thank you. So I'm on there usually every Sunday, Thursday, and Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, if you need any contact information, please contact me at shankar@TiESoCalAngels.com. Before we end, I think I want to give an opportunity to the audience. If you have any questions for any of the panel members?
I have a question. For everyone in the back, some of us really want to hear this, so if you'd be so kind, because it's really hard to hear. And if you can't see me, I'm the short person in the front. So I am a 3-time survivor and a 7-time founder. This is my first investor-backed company with a tiny, tiny family and friends around. I am 11 months in, and I'm just starting to put together a pitch deck. There's a lot that I don't know I'm a visionary by trade, so I suffer from SOS, shiny object syndrome. I'm looking for an integrator, an executor, and a co-founder. I'm scheduled in March for the Founder Institute cohort, and I would like to know if I could schedule 15 minutes to take a look at what I currently have and get your feedback with each of you while you're up here.
The answer is heck yes.
Thank you.
Talk to me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the other thing you might want to do, I mean, Brian's has an incubator accelerator, but there are several out there. The other thing that I'd suggest, look at the small business development centers. I'm down also, not only am I president of Tech Coast Angels in Orange County, but I'm part of the accelerator at Octane Launchpad, as well as UCI, BAI. So, I mean, they provide free services. They're funded by the SBA. Usually, many of us are investors in one of the investing groups as well. You're welcome to call me. I'll take a look at it. We have a medtech screening group. I can get you in touch with Thomas Lee, who's a doctor. He runs it. We do a lot of investment. About 40% of our investments are in med, bio, pharma.
Thank you. I'm actually an up-and-coming ed tech, so I don't know if you'll be in your sector, but I'm happy for any resources that I can get to learn what I need to know.
Wonderful. So first thing you said, which is great, which is that you're skill gapping immediately, right? You're realizing the areas that you're really strong, and you're realizing the areas that you're really weak, and then you're looking at the execution that's required to get you through. So you're looking for a co-founder. That's really smart. A lot of people try and do it on their own. Being a solo founder is an absolute nightmare. Let me tell you, as a solo founder of an accelerator, it's really hard. And if you can have somebody to help you and work with you on the journey, I think that's really smart. And the second thing is, maybe just to help you, like, it's we live in a messed up world, and I mean we in the venture capital space. Like, if you take a service company that you build and you grow, you build revenue, you build EBITDA, you build it slowly, you get it to a place where it's really strong, and maybe somebody buys it in the future, maybe you pass it to your kids. Yeah. Like in this particular case, you literally start so you can exit as quickly as you possibly can. That's the crazy world that we're in. And what that means is that your days of running a company stops. Now you have become a cash register. And you are a cash register that compares with 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 other startup cash registers that are out there, which means you have to position yourself in a place that all investors that are looking at you can see that you can take it to the next level and raise the next round, and make sure that you skill gap, and make sure that you execute, and also make sure that you have a company that can scale. I'm really happy to have a chat with you, but it is a leap of faith. It really is. A lot of the time I wonder what the hell we do in this venture capital space, but you have to decide, this is where I want to be, and I'm going to swap out being a great entrepreneur for a short period of time for being a great founder who will become, a great money raiser who can also be a great entrepreneur. And it's a very big shift of mind.
Thank you so much.
I would say, so I am on the LA steering team for an organization called All Raise, which is focused on female founders and funders. and they have master classes for founders like yourself who are at every stage. So pre-seed, which sounds like where you're at, so you can check out the catalog of videos online, and I think that would be a great place to start as well.
Thank you so much. And if it's okay, if I can take a picture of your badges, because I am dyslexic, so when I hear your information, I often get it backwards.
We'll come down and say hi.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think for anybody else who's looking for help, there's an application open for the San Diego Angel Conference. It's part of the SBDC, so we were mentioned up here, the Small Business Development Center. Their application, I think, closes in like December 15th. I don't know. But that you get actually access to all of those advisors at the SBDC in San Diego. So, and San Diego Angel Conference is global now, Canada, US, and Mexico.
Hello. Thank you, panel, for a very pertinent discussion on angels. I mean, I'm on startups and entrepreneurs early stage, and bringing up the pertinent problems they have and how they can break that and get traction. One of the things, and myself as an angel investor, worked with Shankar, we work together. I'm from TiE, Silicon Valley, and we get a lot of deals, and we get a lot of deal flow. So the seed stage, early stage, is just a huge amount of companies to pick from. And we do make our best effort to fund them, or at least take them to a platform where they can get funded if we can't do it ourselves. The typical problem comes when this moves from the seed stage to Series A and more Series B and Series C. The funnel narrows down a lot. And so I just want to hear panel's views as to what you're telling your companies or what they're doing, how they go and navigate this higher round funding. And what are your views?
For me, there's like three really important things. If it's location in real estate, it's growth in early stage startups. Like, we literally start the first day. Everything for us is about getting ahead. Because you're right, look, when it comes to raising pre-seed or seed, it's luck, and maybe it's like being a good founder. When it comes to growth, that's all gone. When it comes to that growth round, you have to be growing at exponentially to have any chance of being able to get through. People have got far higher bars. So we just get that growth really early. If you can get, this is no different from running a race. You start slowly, but the earlier you start, the more you run, the faster you go. You got to get your brand right. You got to get your personal brand right. You got to get your growth metrics right. Your tactics have to be aligned. You got to go beyond the usual, let's just do Facebook ads and some retargeting. Like, you have to build a real growth organization and really commit to getting those people early. If you do that, you start running faster than everybody else, which puts you in a better position at the growth round. It's still tough, but everybody's chasing after trajectory right now. If you have strong trajectory and growth, there's a ton of money out there for you.
Yeah, so how do you get that strong trajectory and growth is really what the key is. And that's where the angels can come in. Like at TCA, we have a thing called marketing angels. We take a look at our portfolio companies, we help them after the fact, after the funding. But the real key issue is building that bridge with the VC early on. But most important for the CEO, get a good team, make sure you have great advisors, get a good funnel for their own sales process, and bloody well hit your numbers. Don't come in and say, I'm going to need growth, but I missed my numbers. We're going to go, the VCs, as you know, we're going to go check it. Credibility, integrity, trust, and competency in terms of, making your numbers is really the critical aspect.
And I would say something that I'm observing right now, which is very interesting, is that I have two companies that are raising a Series B, but their Series B are $8 million. And so I'm like, don't call it a Series B because the market is crazy right now. Just call it a Series A extension, and you have a ton more options that open up to you. So that's one thing. And again, a female founder who's just been very conscious about her capital spend. I have another entrepreneur that's getting money thrown at her, $5 million, because there's so much capital in the market right now. And then you have the SPAC phenomena, right? So a lot of our companies have been approached to SPAC, which they're not ready for. So I think there's just a lot of capital right now and a lot of opportunity for companies that have solid growth.
I'm just going to take a slightly different approach. I know you're an angel, so I wanted to answer it a little bit as an angel. I feel like the biggest chasm that I have to walk alongside my entrepreneurs is to go from seed to that Series A, right? Getting your lead investor, seeing who's in the pipeline. So me as an angel, I'm consistently trying to find that pipeline of like who's going to pull my companies through. Of course, I'm industry agnostic, so that even makes it's a lot. Like it's sourcing of entrepreneurs and sourcing of investors. So I help entrepreneurs to see like, what does that look like? Let me connect you to that next level. So that's one thing that I've seen a lot of success in with my entrepreneurs that I'm mentoring or I've invested in, really making sure that there's a solid pipeline that I know that my portfolio has been invested by that next level. So they don't have so many barriers in place. I think also aligning your valuation to where you are. You can have a seed plus, right, or a bridge, and seeing how can you leverage the existing angels that you have. One of the most successful companies that I have in my portfolio, she hasn't exited, she will, is that she really used that seed plus stage of getting all the investors just back on in, and then she looked at new investors for a true Series A, and she was able to get those institutional investors because she was able to get the traction that she needed through COVID. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of having that relationship build. It's a journey. Everybody knows that, right? The investor relationship is a journey. It takes a long time, and knowing who you know and doubling down on the investors that are there for you, keep on doing that instead of calling it a Series A and trying to find a whole new list of investors.
Hi, I'm Casey, founder of Pitch Global. Firstly, Brian, thanks for investing in a couple of companies you met at our last in-person event, you know, Vertanza and Champions Round before the pandemic. So it showed how quickly you can move. But the question is to David, especially because you raised SBDC. Our company in Northern California, we are technically a satellite of Tech Futures Group, NorCal SBDC. That means we are authorized to act on their behalf, and whatever we have done is very successful, and we are also in the forefront of initiatives with corporate venture capital arms and VCs on behalf of US government. What my question is, I see today a huge collaboration between TiE, Northern California and Southern California. So how can SBDCs, Northern California and Southern California collaborate? As someone who's authorized, you know, on their behalf, I'd love to, you know, dig deeper and make a better connection.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have a great answer for you because I think, you know, being part of the, quote, pseudo-government, they kind of act independently. But what I've seen, and we have clients that have that are part of the SBDC in Northern Cal, we also take them on as clients. The way I would do it is if you have a skill set in Southern Cal you want to get to, maybe it's an Octane Launchpad, talk to us. We will then talk to the people up in Northern Cal so we don't duplicate work and we can bond together. But there's no real process that I know of because we're kind of independent contractors working for the SBDC, and the SBDCs are all independent, funded by the SBA.
Sure.
So and I used to work for the Fed, so it's worse. That's all I can say. But call me, we can figure out a way to make it work, because the real goal that we have and the metrics that we have to be able to keep track of is how well we do at getting you funding, building up your revenue stream, and finding people that will support your growth.
And mostly economic impact. Like
that is the economic impact.
Yes.
Yeah, funding, growth, revenue, and people.
Jobs. SBDC wants jobs.
Yeah, our group has given them 50% of total economic impact. So they have really doubled, tripled our initiatives.
Yeah, well, since I need higher metrics, come and talk to me.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We have a question right there.
Hi, my name is Dan, and I'm co-founder of Kaleidoscope, and I'm honored that, Brian, you were invested in our company.
Dude, it was easy.
Yeah, so 6 months ago, but my question is, we have had stellar growth over the last 6 months, and you're all about growth. how did you know? And what was it about us that made you invest in us? And because we're actually in the small minority of the companies you invest because we're in the United States.
So first of all, I do believe that as investors, we don't know anything. That's the reality. Well, we hope, and we have biases and we have things. There was a couple of things that I loved about you. Number one, you could see it in your eyes, like your partner is a cancer survivor. He had gone through just an awesome experience where he recovered and he came in. You guys dedicated yourself to working with nonprofits and providing great platforms. They desperately needed to have the marketing to be able to break through that they couldn't get elsewhere. It was easy. And I saw that there was no way that you or Nick were ever going to stop. The three of you were ever going to stop doing anything you were going to do. So do companies get it right the first time? No, most of us, as accelerators, we don't get it right the first time. Like my first couple of investments, I could tell you stories about. But what happens is, if you have the perseverance to break through, which you and your team members did, then the only thing that can happen if you have great product fit, like you said, is grow and get better and get stronger. So yeah, it was easy for me.
Wow. If you need a great partner.
My name is Ashok, and it's going to be a really strange question for you guys. I'm in a totally different business, and what you guys talking, sometimes I don't even understand. I'm in a flooring business, and it has a flooring means tile, marble, granite, commercial, and it has a great potential to grow 5 times, 10 times easily. How you can help us? I'm not even planning to do anything, but I just want to see how you can help us to grow my business by investing the money.
Well, I mean, like a flooring company, like we were just talking about SBDC. SBDC and other organizations will help companies like you to really scale what you need to do, right? And the skill set that you have, that you can grow the company in your own way. There's also other, not just your company, but there are other companies that are labeled as zebras, right? That they're not really truly venture bound. They're not going to ever be unicorns, but they're really doing like wonderful revenue. A lot of VCs, not a lot, but like there's emerging thoughts about revenue-based financing as well. So that's all that zebra mentality. For us at Astor Ventures, we really invest more on the zebras, right? Because we don't want only 1 in 10 survive. We want all 10 to survive. As a mother of 3 children, I want all 3 of them to survive, right? Right. So I think that's something that for us, it's really important, right, to be able to support them. So somebody like you in a company that you love, right? Find the right funder. Maybe it's a bank, maybe it's a loan. I've done a lot of factoring with CPG companies that will never be unicorns, but they were like dancewear lines and they needed some help. I looked at their financials. I'm like, I'm going to get a return on that money that I give you because you don't have any manufacturing terms. Well, we'll work on the manufacturing terms, make sure that you get it in on time. The operation's going to be better. Let me put some money in, and I got my money back within 16 months. I'm like, great, wonderful. Yes, I'm an angel investor in unicorns, but I also can be an investor in zebras.
So let me ask you, the first thing that, if I were thinking about myself as a consultant at SBDC or even looking at it from an angel perspective, the first question I would ask is, what problems do you have in either starting or growing a business? One of the things that I find with a lot of small companies, be they angel investing types or ones that are going to just grow into nice little businesses as a boutique but good revenue stream, is setting the priorities of what you want to do first. What I find is a lot of small companies don't set priorities. They go off in all different directions, and that gets them into a lot of trouble. So whoever you meet with, be it if you're meeting with an angel for advice, great, but I think you should start with either an incubator, an accelerator, if it's an investable type company or an SBDC, figure out what the problems are. But the other thing that you want to be able to do, and I think this we fail as angels, when we look at a deal, we don't normally take a look at the risks and impact of looking forward. So we don't a priori set up the way we're going to attack a problem that occurs. So when we look at a deal, we get enamored. We say, hey, it's a great deal. We're going to find reasons to invest. Or we don't like the deal, we'll find reasons not to. But you don't want to get enamored with the deal. You want to be able to take a look realistically and try to figure out what risks you have. So they use the angel network, use the angel human capital, not only the funding, to help you go through those risks, moderate them.
So I want to share the craziest story ever with you, right? Which turned my world in venture capital upside down. I had this guy called Bill Sellard came over to me and he said, listen, I have this business where we are going to be taking noodles from Eastern Europe and we're going to transport it over here and we're going to sell it to Walmart and a couple of other places and it's going to be great. And I said, look, you're on some kind of mind hallucinating drug if you think that we're investing in noodles. Like, we are top drawer investors. And he goes, yeah, but I know your partner. Who's the money, right? I'm not the money, I'm just the mouth, right? But he goes, I know your partner, so I'm going to ask him. And I'm like, Richard isn't going to do this. And he comes back and he said, I just got $1 million from your partner. No joke, right? And I called my partner and I said, why do you do it? And he said, because I see the same fire in his eyes that I see in your eyes. He'll work it out. Invest in the people and it'll work out. Fast forward 2.5 years, Walmart have decided to launch their $308 billion Lighthouse initiative, which means they don't want to take stuff from abroad anymore. This guy, Bill, is building 2 factories here in the United States. They are looking to make him potentially the Pepsi of the noodle space. He has MOUs from 4 manufacturers of $1.4 billion over a 4-year period, likely to be the quickest and fastest friggin' unicorn we ever had. So here's the moral of the story. Number 1, there's a bunch of idiots out there who will say no when actually yes is the correct answer. Number 2, this is a numbers game. This is sales. It's nothing less, nothing more. Nobody's going to hand it to you. There is somebody out there, if you have good metrics within your business, there is somebody out there who will give you the money to grow it. It may be leveraged debt, it may be investment, it may be something else, but they're there. You have to go out and work out what your metrics look like for how many investors you need to outreach to, what message you have to get to them, how many prospects you have to break that down to, and how many you have to get to close. And you don't get to sleep until you've done that. That's it.
Okay, I think.
By the way, I can sell you some noodles if you'd like to, if you're around later on.
That's a sign of a good investor, right there.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, David. Robert and Sylvia.
Thank you so much.
And actually, I would like to acknowledge one thing I forgot.
Shankar.
You have
my
to put it
peer
up.
from
Now it is. Go.
I'd like to acknowledge my peer from Silicon Valley. Kumar has come from Silicon Valley. He's the chair of TiE Silicon Valley. And
yes.
And Vijay Menon, I didn't see him. He's the ED of TiE Global. TiE Global manages all the chapters, 60 plus chapters. He travels all over the world. He's meeting every president. I think he was here somewhere. Anyway, I acknowledge he came from from San Francisco this morning. And the last but not least, my fund directors. Our fund, we have a board of directors who really work hard to make all the investments. Want to acknowledge them. We have, I think Navneet is left. Navneet, Vijay Kotrapa, stand up. Venkat Taranki, Ramesh Patel, and Anshuman Sinha, and myself. We are the board. Anyway, thank you so much. Thanks the panel.
Just 3 more items real quick. We're going to take a picture, so let's get pictures with the panel. We have some gifts for you here, and then we have a vote of thanks by Ashish, your next president. So hang on just another minute.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. It's broken. Yeah, there we go. Show a little logo. Got to show the logo.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Folks, we really want to thank you for joining us for the TiE SoCal 2021 Summit.
No, yes, no.
It's been a great event. Completely sold out. Completely sold out event tonight. What a way. Yes, absolutely. Round of applause for that. What a way to come back from the pandemic. What better way than to have a sold out event. Thanks to you for hanging in there, coming all the way from SoCal, NorCal, all over the United States, Canada. We had the Canadian consulate represented, Ireland, Malaysia. Yes, all right, Dallas, Texas, a lot of countries and states in the house. As you know, TiE Global was founded in 1992 in the Bay Area, world's largest entrepreneurs organization. And TiE SoCal was founded in 1997. So we continue the tradition. Please check out the websites. Thank you if you tuned in online. People are streaming out there. Thanks for watching us. And of course, thanks to the board and to our outgoing president, Anshuman, our incoming president, Ashish, Shankar, Navneet, and the entire team. I'm sure I'm leaving some people out. Jerry, who's standing right on stage right next to me. How would I leave him out? And all of the companies that pitched, the 2-minute pitches, the 5-minute pitches, the 10-minute pitches, we really want to thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Ashish. If you want to follow me, I'm at Funny Indian on Instagram. Here you go. Here's Ashish to close it out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miraji. It was a great evening, and thank you so much. I just wanted to thank all the attendees for making time to come here on a Friday, on a Thursday evening. You still have a working day, so I know it can be tough, but I hope you got some value out of coming here. And we still have our booths and the wine is still flowing, so stick around and network with the people. I just want to thank a few people without whom this event couldn't be possible. First of all our esteemed panel guests, thank you so much for being on the panel and giving your words of wisdom to all the startups and the investors alike. Thank you to Anshuman, obviously, for putting up such a great show and doing a great job leading us in last 2 years and setting a precedence for people like me to follow. I want to acknowledge Vijay Menon from TiE Global for making the trip here, and also Kumar for coming from TiE Silicon Valley. We really appreciate that. We also have representation from Consulate of France. We are really working on getting some relationship going with them to help their startups and mentors. So please do contact me, all the charter members and else, if you want to mentor some of the startups from France and from India, because we are working with both the governments now. Last but not the least, all the platinum sponsors, you can see all their logos here, but the event is not possible without all the sponsors. Chuk Firm from Navneet Chuk, the CBC, Commercial Bank of California, Beyond Codes. You have all the logos here. C21 Jigar Shah is our latest platinum sponsor. And for our charter members, we have actually, Jigar Shah has just said in February 21, we are having a grand charter member meet and greet at his place. So a lot of exciting programs coming for next year. Emirates is also our sponsor, and for all our charter members, please do contact me for a discount code if you are traveling to India in next couple of months on Emirates. There is a special discount code for all the charter members. So that's from our sponsor Emirates. C21 Jigar Shah already talked about, and we have Beyond Codes as our platinum sponsor as well. Gaurav couldn't be here today. So thank you so much everybody for being here. I hope this was great for you. We are going to have this as an annual event. Please mark your calendars. The next event is going to be in August, I think August 11th, a Thursday. That's when we are going to have the second event, this Investor Summit, maybe even bigger with the cooperation from all of you. And at this time, thank you so much. Just mingle around, network. The room is open till 10 p.m. and bar is open till you drop. So enjoy, have a great evening. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.